Moments away from kickoff here on Game Day Exclusive at the London Stadium, where West Ham take on Sunderland. I have to say there are a number of empty seats around the ground here, so fans still making their voices heard without turning up. Stuart Pearce, he hasn't been happy here, but they did get this huge victory, didn't they, West Ham against Tottenham at the weekend? How much can they take from that as they take on a versatile, well-drilled Sunderland side who can play ugly as well? This is a side, Stuart Pearce, who've won 16 points from losing positions. Only Aston Villa have got more than that. They're up against a top side today.
They certainly are. As I say, Sunderland are absolutely flying. Had a wonderful season up to now. They need to keep maintaining that if they possibly can. West Ham, I think West Ham are gaining traction in some way, but what they'll need to do is Nuno will need to gain confidence within the group. They got a bit of that last week against West Ham and QPR in the cup before that. What they need to do is to back up that victory with another one if possible.
Yep, indeed. Players are walking out onto the pitch now. They've only got one clean sheet all season, 8 league defeats in 11 at the London Stadium so far. Home is most certainly not where the heart is. In fact, it's safe to say that there's very little heart left here at home. It is a far cry from the visitors, though, because they've lit up the stadium of light on their return to the top flight. But their gloomy recent record on the road could offer a spark of hope for West Ham as they sing their famous song about bubbles. Sunderland are winless in their last 6 away from home. Could that make a difference today? Now, after that huge win at the weekend, can the Hammers fans see enough green shoots of recovery to put a run together and rescue their Premier League season? Well, history will tell you that they have a good record against Sunderland at home. They've lost just once in the last 12 league games at home against them, but that last defeat was back in the 2010-2011 season. It was the only time Sunderland did the league double over the Hammers, and that season, guess what? The Hammers were relegated. Can history repeat itself? Well, we will find out in the due course of time, but for now we've got a huge game ahead here in East London. I'm going to hand you over then to our commentary team, the former England captain, Forest legend, and former West Ham player and manager Stuart Pearce. But first, Talksport's chief football commentator Sam Matterface.
Thank you, Reshman. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the London Stadium, where the bubbles are starting to feel like part of a soap opera, a fight for survival, a conflict between club and supporters, and now a scrap with a side that have been cast as the disruptive newcomer. Reggie Lebris stirred Sunderland into a top half team, whereas Nuno Espirito Santo is dealing with a bit of a cliffhanger. Will they, or will they not go? Sunderland made a splash the minute they turned up in the Premier League, and ever since that morning at the Stadium of Light, West Ham have been struggling to find their role. Only Wolves are worse at home. Only 4 teams have scored fewer at home. No wonder the fans have been staying away. It's starting to fill up slowly. There's still a few patches of empty seats inside the London Stadium. In truth, the Stadium of Light is where Sunderland's main characters usually come out to play. Away from home, the north-east side are more often on the fringes of things. They did steal the show at Chelsea back in October, and if they do the same this lunchtime, they will solidify their place in the Premier League for next season. 36 points by the end of January. That is absolutely stellar for a newly promoted club. It would also push the Hammers into further peril. West Ham United are unchanged from the side that beat Tottenham Hotspur away from home. Alphonse Areola is the goalkeeper. Wan-Bissaka, Mavropanos, Todibo and Ollie Scars at the back 4. Souček and Fernandez, the 2 holders in midfield, with Jared Bowen, Pablo and Somerville behind Tati Castellanos in attack. Sunderland have Robin Roofs in goal, Mukiele, Ballard and Alderati as the back 3. Trey Hume and Ranildo are the 2 wing-backs. Lafay, Siddiqui and Mundell behind Maenda and Brobby in attack. Referee this afternoon is Thomas Bramall. The VAR is Timothy Wood. West Ham United in claret shirts with white shorts and white socks attacking the goal. Away to our right, there's some Trevor Brookings stand in the first half. All in black with yellow numbers. Sunderland attacking the Bobby Moore stand away to our left-hand side. We're live on Talksport, and later today, Alan Pardew is with Adrian Durham as they take you around the grounds in the Premier League and beyond. Tomorrow, the South Coast Derby takes us to Fratton Park, and we have another brilliant day on Game Day Live from 1:30 on Talksport, where we take you around the grounds. Monday night, Everton Leeds, then the final night of the Champions League and the Europa League unfold on Talksport on Wednesday and Thursday. You want drama? You've come to the right place. We are ready for kick-off at the London Stadium. So often not a happy hunting ground for the Hammers, but today, can they turn the tide against the Black Cats? They're looking for back-to-back Premier League wins under Nuno Espirito Santo for the first time. Will today be the day that the bubbles fly into the air, or that Sunderland burst them? Stuart Pearce is here, and if they want to be in the next series of the Premier League, then West Ham United really need to start putting points on the board in these fixtures at home. It's absolutely crucial, isn't it? How do they go about securing a victory?
That's an understatement. As I say, they've got to pick their points up. If they're going to stay in this division this season, West Ham, they're going to have to start picking points up in this stadium now. The fans are going to play a big part in that, and a good start today will certainly be a step in the right direction.
Sunderland with Robin Roos in goal away to our right-hand side. Interestingly, just having a quick look at the way they're lining up as Brobby moves into the penalty area, plays the ball out wide towards Trey Hume, who's playing a little bit higher up on that right-hand side, plays the ball infield. It's taken down the right by Siddiqui, and then the ball is out of play and away for a throwing down by the corner flag, and an opportunity for Nordi Mukiele to toss the ball in from the right-hand side. He's got a long throw, and he'll try to disrupt the West Ham defence, who have conceded 12 headed goals already this season, Stuart, and that's a league high.
Yeah, that's why the importance of Souček in the team is absolutely invaluable, I think, for West Ham. When he's been left out, they lose some height and endeavour to deal with those things.
Mukiele with the throw in towards the near post. It's headed away by Castellanos, comes back out to the edge of the area, and it's smacked goalwards from the edge of the box by Noah Siddiqui and tipped over the top by Alphonse Areola, who's caught into a first save of the match.
I'll tell you what, I think Sunderland has started the game really well as the away side. They've turned West Ham round a couple of times with balls in behind, and from that they've forced a couple of set plays, and from that last long throw, a fantastic effort from the edge of the box and a wonderful save as well by Areola.
Yeah, Siddiqui from the edge of the penalty area with a whack which tested the reflexes of Alphonse Areola early in the game. They have a corner to be taken over on the far side by Trey Hume, who's the captain in the absence of Xhaka today. He hits it right-footed towards the penalty spot. Enzo Lefebvre is hanging out of the penalty area. Ballard heads it back towards goal, away by Wan-Bissaka. Ballard again into the penalty box, and then it's smuggled away by Pablo. Back in and over the top it goes towards the edge of the box, and Mayenda tries to fight for it, can't win it. Brobby brings it down, picked up by Matías Fernandes, and now all of a sudden there's a bit of poise on the ball for the first time for West Ham United, but they can't get out. Wan-Bissaka gives it away. Enzo Lefebvre tries to dribble down the touchline, but he's pursued by Castellanos, and the ball spills out on the near touchline and goes out for a throw-in to West Ham United. 0-0 the score. We played 2 minutes and 43 seconds. That's a poor kick, but it was a poor back pass by Mavropanos, and Alphonse Areola just spoons it into the sky. Siddiqui tries to push the ball forward, and West Ham United lose it again. They've hardly had a kick in the opening 3 minutes, Stuart.
No, and a lot of that's down to probably not just West Ham, Sunderland. Sunderland has set a tempo to this game that's been outstanding. I've got to say, they've been very forthright in some of the passes forward that they've played, and it's caused West Ham the odd problem.
Mukiele playing out on the right-hand side. It's a back four, I think, for Sunderland, with Mukiele playing out as a right-back and Trey Hume almost playing as a outside right, wandering into midfield. Here he is, over on the far side, knocking the ball back into the path of Alderete. Alderete moves forward. He's got the opportunity to chip the ball over the top for Mayenda to chase. Ollie Scarl's backpedaling towards the penalty area. It runs out of room and goes out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. But it's been an impressive start by the away team, who haven't been great on the road. They're winless in 6.
Yeah, as I say, I'm looking at Sunderland's formation, and I'm just trying to, if you took a snapshot now, you would say it's definitely a 4 at the back potentially. But I think on occasion as well, it's so fluid and flexible, it almost looks as though it could be a 3 on occasion. Yeah,
because what will happen is that Trey Hume will just drop into cover if they need him to on that right-hand side, and try and keep a tab on Somerville. There's been a foul in the middle of the centre circle on Alderete. The ball is back with the Sunderland defence, and they have the chance to create a free kick. And again, West Ham really can't get hold of the ball at the moment. They've conceded, West Ham, 44 goals this season, which is the worst league defence in the top division in English football. Sunderland have defied the recent sort of history of promoted sides, haven't they? And that's why their fans, you can hear them away to our right, singing with gusto. 9th, 33 points. They're already within touching distance of safety by January. It's been a masterclass in sensible recruitment and tactical grit. Ball goes up towards Ballard again, who wins the first contact inside the penalty area. It's headed down, but it's wide of goal, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. It's a beautiful day here in East London. Blue sky, a few white wispy clouds above our head. The floodlights are on, but there's no need for them at the moment, because it is a very bright, sunny East London afternoon. A little bit chilly, everyone wrapped up, as you would expect in January. But so far, it's Sunderland who have been bringing the heat. Here is Fernandez over on the far side, into Scarles, who's 2 yards in from the left touchline, about 7 yards deep inside his own half. Across to Souček, no real pace to get the ball moving forward, and not enough movement in front of him, so he goes left to Jean-Claire Todibo, into Somerville, then back to Souček again, who's almost in the quarterback position. He's as deep as you can get in the West Ham formation right now, in between the two centre-backs. Goes up towards the centre circle, plays it to the left, collected by Jean-Claire Todibo. Wider onto Ollie Scarles, and then back into Todibo, whose distribution is good, and he plays the ball down the left-hand side for Castellanos to chase, into a inside left position. He plays it out to Somerville, gets a clattering from Ballard, and actually he stood his ground there, Somerville, and Ballard was the one who ended up taking the full force of the contact and ended up on the floor.
That was a quite strange one, really. I thought that was nailed on to be a West Ham free kick on the edge of the box there, and Ballard was the one who ended up being clotheslined.
It was quite amazing, really. Ballard is about 6'2" and a hefty individual. Crescencio Somerville was about 60 kilograms wet through. Here is the free kick over on the far side. This is a free kick for a foul on Ollie Scarles, and Sunderland have given West Ham the opportunity to just try and get a little foothold in the game after 6.5 minutes of the match, Stuart.
Yeah, I thought Scarles was quite fortunate to get the free kick there. It was a poor pass into the centre of midfield that was cut out by a Sunderland player, and the referee bailed him out, but it gives West Ham the opportunity to pop one in the box. They've got 6-7 players in line with us.
Well, what Pablo and Castellanos bring is height as well. The ball goes into the box, aimed towards Todibo, headed away by Alderete, collected by Wan-Bissaka on the halfway line, and then Scarles has it just inside his own half. Out to the far side, Matias Fernandez brings it down, plays it back towards Scarles again. And West Ham look to build from deep. 0-0 the score, 8 minutes gone. And the only opportunity we've had so far, Noah Sadiki's volley from the edge of the area, which really tested the reflexes of Alphonse Areola. That was from a set piece, and West Ham not great with those. Here is Souček at the other end of the field, though. West Ham trying to come forward. The captain Bowen takes over. He pieces the ball between two black shirts, and then again the move breaks down pretty quickly, goes back to halfway, and West Ham with their two centre-backs look to try and build from the halfway line. There's been a goal at the Riverside. Talksport's Graham Courtney.
Middlesbrough 1, Preston North End 0, and it is Alan Brown with his second goal in the space of 5 days. Scruffy sort of goal, but he's fired it in from the corner of the 6-yard box. The Borough in the lead, looking good to maintain this second place. Middlesbrough 1, Preston 0.
Alan Brown's a former Preston player, isn't he? Here is Souček into the penalty area, looking for Tati Castellanos at the back post. Didn't really attack that with the kind of gusto that was required there, and it goes beyond him and out for a throw-in over on the far side. Kane Ramsey has scored for Millwall. They lead against Charlton by 1-0, 10 minutes in. It was an own goal from Kane Ramsey, the Charlton defender. He's put through his own net there, and Millwall in 5th take the lead against 18th place Championship strugglers Charlton Athletic, back here at the London Stadium. Callum Wilson just sitting there looking glum-faced with his arms crossed. I just wonder whether or not he would have attacked that ball into the box with a little bit more further.
Well, certainly that's something he would have thrived off. Also as well, the person who played it in the box was Thomas Souček. I think he would have done as well.
Ball into the area this time by Matheus Fernandes. It's too close to the goalkeeper. Roos comes out and he bowls it out very quickly. Underarm out to the far side, the right, and Trey Hume is immediately on the attack for Sunderland. He gallops over halfway. He's got two inside the penalty area, but he misses Mayenda, couldn't find Brobby, and Mavropanos digs out a clearance and sends it to the far side. Retrieved by Somerville, runs laterally inside the West Ham half of the pitch. Fernandes goes backwards rather than forwards.
This is... West Ham were getting attacked there, and too many of their players were the wrong side of the ball. They defended it with 5, and there was basically 5 of them the wrong side. If you're going to do that, when you turn the ball over, you've got to go after the opposition, and West Ham slowed it down, and you could hear the moans in the crowd.
10 minutes gone, 0-0, and not much sign of life so far from West Ham, but Pablo is screeching down that right hand side, trying to get into an advanced position. Alderete read the move, came across, got hold of it. Mundle knocked to the floor, but bounces back quickly and then tries to dribble away from Wan-Bissaka. He showed persistence there, Mundle. Didn't have the skill to go beyond the DR Congo international, and the ball is turned back by Mavropanos eventually to his goalkeeper Alphonse Areola. 0-0 the score. And West Ham come into this game on the back of that dramatic late win at Tottenham last weekend. Callum Wilson with the injury time winner. It gave them only their second victory in 11 Premier League matches, and how welcome that was for Nuno Espirito Santo. Here comes Crescencio Somerville, just edging up towards the edge of the area. He passes it back to Castellanos. It's cut out by Mukiele, and now Mayenda looks to release Brobby on the halfway line, who powers forward. He's got Todibo in front of him. Mayenda is now joining. He's got space down the left for Romain Mundle to get on the ball. He cuts in right-footed, runs into traffic. He overhit the pass, and then a poor challenge by Mundle as West Ham look to escape, and a free kick is given on the edge of the area by the referee, Thomas Bramall.
Super play there by Sunderland. It intercepted the ball on the edge of their own box, and a couple of straight passes through the ranks of the West Ham team near enough put them clear on goal. But I've got to say, the West Ham lineup, you've got sort of Fernandes playing further forward, Souček being the deep lying one, getting on the ball, and I don't think it suits him. Souček, he's not got a massive range of passing. His forte is getting in the box on the end of things. I think he needs to be further up the pitch, Sam.
Are they adapting his position because he's getting to that point where his legs aren't able to get him to crash the box as often as he used to be able to, or is that just a little bit of a needs must because they haven't got anybody else in that area?
Well, probably because they know he's that genuine. He is going to make recovery runs and get back if it does break down, you know. So he offers you that defensive shield, if you like. But for me, certainly with my time at the football club, we found he was better suited further up the pitch.
Alessandro Jatta has scored for Notts County, who lead away from home in their game, at home against Crewe, and by a goal to nil in the battle between 13th and 12th. Barnet are 1-0 down at home to Oldham in League 2. And remember, in the Championship, Millwall already ahead, and so are Middlesbrough. Here's Crescencio Somerville down the left-hand side, getting to the edge of the area, juiced across into the box towards the edge of the 6-yard area. The cross was steered, aimed for Tati Castellanos. It's away by Alderete. Matthias Fernandes gets the throw. Now Souček turns, plays it out to Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka down the right into the path of Bowen now. Looks to try and take on Reinildo. Reinildo doesn't get to him, and it's a good cross from Bowen into the box, but it's over the head of Pablo and it's cleared away. Souček keeps it moving, and then it's back to Wan-Bissaka again. They want it in the box. They go to Bowen instead on the right side. He's testing Reinildo, and he's beaten him for a second time. In towards Somerville with a header beyond the goalkeeper and in, and West Ham United lead. It's a marvellous leap from a brilliant cross from Jared Bowen, and Crescencio Somerville has given West Ham United the advantage with their first attempt on goal in the game. 14 gone, West Ham lead by a goal to nil. It's another goal for Crescencio Somerville.
I've got to say, Ronaldo, the full-back or left centre-back, whichever way you look at him, his body position to engage Bowen was awful. He's basically stood level with him, and all Bowen had to do was drag it and cross it. He'd done it once, and he didn't learn his lesson from it. He engaged him in the same bodily position again, Bowen's just dragged it, crossed it into a real dangerous area, and Somerville's done brilliantly. Clear in the middle of the goal, a great leap and a great header.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was particularly impressive from Crescencio Somerville, that he got up there. But I do think that the Sunderland defence will be asking questions as to how someone of his height managed to outleap their central defenders. But the first questions have to be asked about Reynildo. The fact is that he'd had a warning of what Bowen was capable of and was going to do, and he didn't heed that warning.
No, he's trying to cut off his Bowen's left foot, and he's over-exaggerated that body position. Thing with Jared, he can use the right foot to good effect.
Well, the bad news for West Ham is that Sunderland have picked up 16 points from losing positions already this season, and they are behind here. West Ham leading by 1-0 at the London Stadium. That just elevated the noise inside this arena, which isn't entirely full today. Ball tossed in towards the near post to the Sunderland long throw, and then Trey Hume to the back post with a looping header. Lands it on the roof of the net, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our left. But there's the second long ball into the box, and it's the second time that Sunderland have come close to getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, Hume, it was there coming. It was a sort of pinball of headers between a couple of players, and Hume come in, and he's just tried to lift it over the top of the Fonz, and he just got too much on it, landed on the roof of the net.
Is that his nickname, the Fonz?
Yeah, it is.
Is that just because of the name, or because he wears a leather jacket and he always gives you happy days?
And he says things like, he. For those old enough to remember, obviously.
Here is Mayenda trying to get beyond. Everybody knows who the Fonz is, don't they?
You would think so.
Yeah, I think he's been doing some social media stuff. I think he's down with the kids. Here is Somerville inside the centre circle, swinging the ball out wide, and now Wan-Bissaka gets to the advanced position on the right, left by Somerville, into Bowen, turns, shoots, it's going to come through to Pablo at the far post, and he skied it. It was a lovely little step over actually by Jared Bowen. The ball ran all the way through to the edge of the left 6-yard area, and Pablo coming in tried to lift it over the goalkeeper, but Robin Roos did just enough, I think, to put him off, and he had to blast the ball, and as a result send it over the top of the crossbar. But that's a second opportunity for West Ham United. Yeah,
it certainly is. I mean, great interchange of play on the edge of the box there, and when it fell to Pablo, all he's got to do is dink it over the goalie. He's gone for power, Sam, and got too much on it.
West Ham United 1, Sunderland 0. Crescencio Somerville with the goal. Bit of an issue for Matthias Fernandes, who's gone down. Looked as if he was going to need treatment, actually, but now he's back on his feet. How can Sunderland respond to this? Haven't really got Enzo Lefebvre into the game yet. He's usually the one who's been pulling the strings in Sunderland's midfield. 3 goals, 4 assists this season from 21 appearances. He arrived from Roma on loan last season. He was terrific in the Championship. That was made permanent as soon as they were promoted. He gets on very well with Regis Lebury, and he's on the ball now. He sends it wide into Mundell, who trundles up towards the edge of the area. West Ham backing off and getting into shape. It's then Trey Hume who's come centrally, worked the ball out wide. Mukiele, who just hesitates, plays it infield, and then Siddiqui tries to play it down the inside right channel, and actually the idea was right from Siddiqui, even if the execution wasn't. Bobby wanted that into feet, didn't get it, and it goes into the arms of the goalkeeper. Alphonse Areola away to our left. It's West Ham 1, Sunderland 0 on Talksport with Sky Sports, and don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Bournemouth versus Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports.
Yeah, you just get the impression in this game, Sam, that there's more goals available for either team, I would say. Both playing some decent attacking football, and I think West Ham really needed that goal for the confidence and certainly get the crowd on board here.
Well, Sunderland's encouragement will come from the fact that West Ham haven't kept a clean sheet under Nuno Espirito Santo. Here is Mayenda into Lefebvre. Space out wide for Mundell. Robbie goes trotting into the box, but Mundell is still holding on to it, gloves on his fists and trying to get past Wan-Bissaka. Reynildo turns it back to Alderete, and then Dan Ballard takes over at the base of the centre circle, guides it back to Robin Roos, who's been a very good acquisition. Been a revelation really this season. He signed from NEC Nijmegen for a decent fee. He's played every single game in the Premier League this season, 7 clean sheets, the best save percentage in the league, but he could do nothing about Somerville crashing the edge of the 6-yard box from that cross from Bowen. and that's why West Ham lead. Ball over on the right, chased by Mayenda, put out by Todibo, and that means we're going to get another Mukiele throw.
Yeah, good opportunity once again for Sunderland. They tossed a couple in already that have caused the odd problem, and they'll be trying to do the same again.
Dan Burn, Brobby, both dangerous from corners, free kicks and long throws. West Ham defensive fragility certainly extends to dead ball situations. Nuno Espirito Santo will be acutely aware that one lapse in judgment can cost them incredibly dear here. They've had 2 warnings. In comes Mukiele's throw in towards the near post. It was flicked on by Mavropanos and into the arms of his own goalkeeper. Got up the highest despite pressure from Ballard, and they defended that one just a little bit better, West Ham. Away by Areola, takes no chances by kicking it long down the middle of the pitch, and Pablo is going to try and force himself upon Ballard, but he does just enough to help it back to the goalkeeper. 1-0.
Ballard letting that bounce. I wasn't sure that was the right tactic, but I've got to say, dealt with it pretty well. Just helped it back to his goalie, and Sunderland will start to build again midway through their own half.
Middlesbrough lead Preston by a goal to 0 in the Championship. Millwall taking on Charlton today in the London derby, not too far from here. 1-0 is the score, and in Millwall's favour. 0-0 between Chelsea and Arsenal in the WSL. Stockport 1-0 up away at the leaders Cardiff in League 1. 0-0 Huddersfield, Bradford and Plymouth against Luton. And in League 2, Oldham 1-0 up away from home at Barnet, and Notts County 1-0 up against Crewe. You're up to date from the EFL on Talksport. And remember, later today we're round the grounds with Adrian Durham from 2:30. We'll do the same tomorrow, 1:30. Lots of games tomorrow going on. We've got a bumper day of action for you. Brentford, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea away at Palace, Newcastle against Aston Villa, 2 o'clock kickoffs. Hearts take on Celtic in the Scottish Premiership as well. Rangers in action tomorrow afternoon. We'll cover it all. Ball towards the back post towards Ballard. Ballard with a header, and it wasn't too far away from testing Areola's goal again. Another free kick, worked to the wide right position this time, taken short and then tossed into the box by Hume. It was delivered to the far post, and Ballard just out-muscled his marker there, Thomas Soucek. Got a header on, not a clean one, and that's why it looped wide.
No, we were right behind the header where we are in our commentary position, and as I say, sheer strength actually pushed Soucek back, and he got a strong head on it, but probably a little bit too much.
He is a commanding centre-back, and he is a commanding header of the ball. 2 goals already this season for Dan Ballard from the heart of the Sunderland defence. Wearing black today, Sunderland bring the ball down after a clearance from Areola is gobbled up by the Sunderland defence, and they start to build from the back. A quarter of the way through the match, and it's West Ham who lead by a goal to 0. Ball infield from Mukiele to Alderete. Omar Alderete, the Netherlands international centre-back who has got 18 appearances this season. Part of Sunderland's rock-solid defensive unit away at home, but away from home maybe a little bit more leaky. I think he will lead the inquest into how Crescencio Somerville ended up escaping the attentions of the defence. Here is Trey Hume operating in midfield and getting a lot of touches of the ball, but he's given that away cheaply to Crescencio Somerville. And now Castellanos is trying to send the ball down the left to Somerville. Somerville riding a challenge from Dan Ballard. The ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in over on the far side for West Ham United.
Yeah, Sunderland look more effective when they've gone from back to front a little bit quicker in the slow build-up. They've been a little bit careless with some of their passing so far.
Good challenge that by Dan Ballard actually on Crescencio Somerville, who's threatening to get away, just nudged the ball away, toe-ended it out of play on the far side and away for a throw-in. Clearance by Robin Roos from the left full-back position. The ball bounced over the head of Wan-Bissaka. Brobby is very strong and he's holding off Mavropanos. In fact, basically he is, despite the attempts of Mavropanos to wrestle him to the ground, holding him with such brute strength that in the end the referee said, look, just stop it now, you can have a free kick, Brian Brobby.
To be fair, Brobby looked as though you could put 3 men on his back and it still wouldn't shake him. He was an absolute colossus there. Wonderful hold-up play.
Yeah, he's been a very good acquisition, actually. When we told you about that signing on deadline day on Talksport, 1 or 2 were a little bit surprised, but he came in on deadline day at the end of August and he's done an excellent job for Regis Lebris. 1-0 to West Ham United. Live on Talksport on this Saturday afternoon. Here is Trey Hume. Decent ball into the box, a right-footed bender towards the edge of the penalty spot. And it goes out of play over on the far side after a clearance from Souček. And it's away for another Mukiele long throw.
Yeah, another one about to be launched in. West Ham have got to make sure, or they've gone short this time.
Yeah, and then Mukiele will try and toss it in from the right-hand side with a cross this time. Souček takes charge and heads it away. It was a good header by Souček. And it's Mundell who gets there first. West Ham struggling to get out. Castellanos speeding forward to try and put pressure on the ball. He's a very willing presser. He flew himself at Robin Roof's clearance but didn't get anything on it. Ballard puts pressure on Jared Bowen, probably too much, a little bit of physicality, and there's a free kick to West Ham, 15 yards inside their own territory. Marcus Harness has given League One Huddersfield the lead at home to Bradford. It's their first game under new boss Liam Manning, and they're in front against Bradford.
I'm not suggesting you should chase lost causes readily. You can't, you physically can't, but Castellanos has chased something he should never have chased, and he's ended up putting the goalie under pressure. From that, West Ham win a free kick with a resulting forward ball, and all of a sudden they've got possession and quelled a potential another attack by Sunderland. You've got to do things like that just to bring the crowd to the party as much as anything. Yeah,
he's a willing runner, Castellanos. Here is Siddiqui in midfield for Sunderland, and Trey Hume trying to release the ball for Eliza Mienda. Didn't quite work out for him, and then Enzo Lefebvre with a half-hearted tackle allows the ball to run past him via Wan-Bissaka into Bowen, and now they build down the right with Pablo on the turn, back to Wan-Bissaka. Pablo again, right angle of the penalty area. West Ham on the attack here, leading by a goal to nil. Matthias Fernandes now poking the ball out wide towards Crescencio Somerville, the goal scorer. He sends it on to Ollie Scholes, who tries to chink inside the penalty area, beats Trey Hume. That's a penalty. A little trick from Trey Hume, the captain of Sunderland, who didn't actually protest too much, which probably gives you an indication that he felt, as did Thomas Bramall, that very quickly that decision was correct. Thomas Bramall now being chased by a couple of other players, suggesting that it wasn't as obvious. Scholes did go down very quickly. Should that have been a penalty, Stuart Pearce? There was contact.
For me, no. I think he's made a great deal of that. There was a flailing leg.
Did he run into Trey Hume's leg? That's the question.
Well, it looks that way. I don't think this will be overturned. I don't think there's enough in it to overturn it. There was contact knee to knee, but I think the defender was attempting to pull away from it, and I think Scholes has been a little bit cute with his body.
Well, I think he's run into Trey Hume, but there is a leg there and there is contact. So I wonder if the VAR, who today sitting in Stockley Park is Timothy Wood, has decided that there's no clear evidence to overturn it. We have had no indication in the stadium that there is a VAR check going on, and it does mean that we're expecting Jared Bowen to grab hold of the ball here. No Lucas Paquetá to take the penalty kick, so Jared Bowen will take responsibility for it. And that penalty is going to be allowed to stand, I think, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, big decision. As I say, there certainly was contact, but if this hits the back of the net, it certainly plays into a really good start to this game by West Ham United.
Well, 28 minutes in, they took a little bit of time to settle into it, but as soon as they got themselves in front, created by Bowen and then converted by Somerville, they've been a force for good in the game, and now Bowen steps up, left-footed, sent it into the bottom corner past Robin Roos, and West Ham United take a 2-goal lead in the first half against Sunderland. They're finally scrapping for survival and showing a bit of fight for it. West Ham United lead at home in the London Stadium, and they give their fans something to cheer about with a 2-goal lead before we've met the 30-minute mark.
Well, I've got to say, Bowen whipped it across his body and pulled it into this corner nearest to us. Great direction on the ball, but Roofs has gone the right way, and he'll be disappointed not to have got a hand on it. But I think there was a slight slip as well from Jared as he's planted his foot, but they'll be absolutely delighted with that outcome.
Nuno Espirito Santo couldn't even watch the penalty being taken. He stared at the ground and then waited for the indication from the crowd. And Jared Bowen, after 28 minutes, makes it West Ham United 2, Sunderland 0.
Yeah, after a very bright start from Sunderland, West Ham are the ones that have found the net on a couple of occasions.
Well, you just wonder whether or not that game against Tottenham might be a turning point in West Ham United's season. Certainly the fans inside this stadium will hope so. And with Nottingham Forest not playing until tomorrow, they will close the gap at the bottom of the table and just give Sean Dyche's team something to think about. Here's Somerville trying to get past Dan Ballard. He pushes the ball beyond him. Ballard holds him up. That's a yellow card. Don't think Dan Ballard can have too many complaints on that. There's been another goal at the Riverside. Talksport's Graham Courtney.
And another for the Borough. Middlesbrough 2, Preston 0. Quick breakaway by the Borough. Morgan Whittaker turned his marker square to Tommy Conway, and he's finished it really, really well for his 5th of the season. Our second of the afternoon. Middlesbrough 2, Preston 0.
Back here it's 2-0 to West Ham United. You're listening to Talksport. And we're live at the London Stadium, and the West Ham fans, smiles on their faces. Stuart Pearce, we haven't seen too many of them this season.
No, sometimes you can be misled. You think it's a smile, it's actually wind, But to be honest with
you speak for yourself.
They'll be delighted with this start. There's no doubt about that. As I say, it was one of those games you come in to. The fans are buoyed up by the away victory, and a great start here.
Free kick headed on by Souček, then on to Castellanos, who tries to nudge it into the path of Bowen, but it goes straight into the arms of Robin Roos, and it's cleared away by Sunderland. 2-0 the scoreline here at the London Stadium, on the edges of London, with lots of empty seats over on the far side now becoming a bit more apparent. Maybe one or two have gone down for an early attempt to get some refreshment. That's given away cheaply by Trey Hume, who's not having a very good afternoon, and there Somerville has picked it up and he's taken it down the left hand side into the penalty area. He tries to get the shot away, it's blocked by Siddiqui, who tracked back and helped out his defence, and it goes out for a corner over on the far side. Well, Trey Hume has given away the penalty, and he almost gave away a free attack and a free shot on goal for West Ham United there. He's wearing the captain's armband today in place of Granit Xhaka, and I think he's just a little bit rattled.
You know what, Sunderland have not looked good at playing when they've had to play up through a congested midfield of West Ham. They've given the ball away too readily. Maybe they are missing Xhaka.
Corner in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, punched away by Roos, despite a collection of bodies all crumpling to the floor in front of him, and one of those was Jean-Claire Todibo. West Ham have picked it up halfway inside their own half with Jared Bowen, and now Wan-Bissaka down the right into Matheus Fernandes. West Ham leading by 2-0 live on Talksport this lunchtime. Remember, we're taking you around the grounds with Adrian at 2:30, and then we've got the phone in from 5:30 tonight, the first chance on national radio for you to have your reaction to all the day's play. 03717223344. West Ham United 2, Sunderland 0. For the latest odds, you can head to Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage. Right now you can get West Ham at 6-1 on to win the game, Sunderland at 20-1. The draw is 7-1. That's all thanks to Betfair. Playing a different league this season with Safe Sub from Betfair. 18+, BeGambleAware.org.
Yeah, I think West Ham, from a tactical approach now, you'd look at West Ham and say, right, as long as we keep compact and men behind the ball, Sunderland are finding it difficult to play through us. It's when we're a bit loose and a bit open and the ball going forward quicker with spaces in behind West Ham that they look slightly vulnerable.
Yes, the problem, of course, is that West Ham rarely keep a clean sheet. In fact, yet to do so under Nuno Espirito Santo. Alphonse Areola hasn't kept a clean sheet this season. Here is Souček in the middle of the park, scrapping for it, falling to the floor and trying to force it forward. The ball is cleared away, and it's into the arms of the goalkeeper Robin Roos, away to our right-hand side. Sunderland need to find a way back into the game, need to find a way to get a foothold in the match. The next goal, I think, in this match is probably incredibly important here, Stuart, because if West Ham were to get it, game, set and match, I think. If Sunderland were to get it, knowing the nervousness and the compunction for West Ham to collapse, it would be quite crucial for Sunderland and give us every chance of a grandstand second half. Here's Lefay down the left into Mundle. Mundle moving up towards the edge of the area, trying to nudge it into the path of Siddiqui. Apart from the set pieces and long throws, though, we haven't seen much from Sunderland as an attacking force. Maenda trying to go down the inside right channel, blocked off by Todibo. Todibo now pinned in the corner, gets it back to Scarles, and Scarles just smashes it upfield and away from harm's way. Forward by Alderete. Brobby's on the floor, picked off by Mavropanos, and now a chance for Pablo to scurry forward for West Ham as they turn it over and look to make the most of their advantage. Matheus Fernandes just turns away from the attentions of Brobby, and all of a sudden there's a bit more confidence about West Ham United.
Yeah, they are playing with a reasonable swagger about their play now. It's amazing what a goal or two does for you.
It is, isn't it? And they do look like a different team now. And I mentioned it before the game with Jacob Steinberg, who's joining us here. You just wonder what happens. Here is Bowen going down the outside, got the better of Reynaldo again, and he's brought down by Reynaldo, and that's a yellow card, and he is having a tough time keeping tabs on Jared Bowen.
Yeah, he's just not got his body angle correct. You know, there's a saying that says if you draw a line between the ball and the goal, your body's got to be in between that. His is not, basically. He's covering and giving Jared Bowen too much of the outside to go down, and Jared's saying, well, if you're going to cut off the inside and give me that much room on the outside, off I go.
And off he has gone, and Reynaldo's brought him down. It's a free kick on the near side and a booking for Reynaldo, and a chance for West Ham to cultivate another opportunity 10 minutes before half-time, leading by 2-0 in the sunshine at the London Stadium. Scarles with his left foot might try and curl this into the near post, or it might be Fernandes with an outswinger. It's going to be Scarles who takes it left-footed in towards that near post, but it was a poor delivery, really. Enzo Lefebvre heads it out, and it goes out for a throw in midway between the edge of the penalty area and the byline.
Yeah, I'll be a little bit disappointed with that delivery from Scarles, the young man. As I say, he's come over to his right-hand side to whip it in with his left foot, and he's just not enough elevation on the ball.
Here he is again, Bowen down the right side. Last thing that Reynaldo wants to see. He's got his body in the right position this time, shields the ball, gets it back to Alderete. He clears upfield. Mavropanos can't keep it in. It just flicks off his foot and goes out for a throw in the left fullback position for the away team. Sunderland over in Colombo. England are chasing 220 to win in the second one-day international against Sri Lanka. After 3 overs, England 8 without loss. The coverage continues over on Talksport 2. We've got all the coverage from Sri Lanka on not only Talksport 2, but on the Talksport Cricket YouTube channel as well. The following on podcast is available later on as well. Mukiele got himself out of a tight spot, but as he sent the ball out to Trey Hume, Scarles dispossessed him and then sent it out wide. Castellanos has drifted out there. Crescencio Somerville gives it away. Now Brobby picks it up on the halfway line, holds it up so brilliantly, and then uses his body so well, and that creates an opportunity for Sunderland to get out over on the far side. Brobby knocks off the ball. Sunderland encouraged to come forward. Mayenda feeds it back to Mukiele, and then he puts the ball straight out of play over on the far side. And Brobby's saying, well, I should have had a free kick earlier than that. And Thomas Bramwell's saying, well, I thought you had the advantage. There weren't much advantage, though, was there? Because Mayenda was going down the right side and into a bit of a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, exactly. I've got to say, though, super hold-up play against Sam, wasn't it? You know? Real good strength on the ball.
He's got a good goal record as well so far this season, Brian Brobby. He's picked up 4 goals already in this newly promoted team. But it's what he does without the ball, shielding players, causing issues for central defenders, and then holding it up when he gets it, that gives him a platform, especially at home. So if he was to get a couple more goals, he might be a target of some of the big boys in the summer. Not that Sunderland will want to lose him. He is only 23 years of age. Here down the left-hand side, Somerville attacking the edge of the penalty area, cutting in on his right foot, dancing his way towards the edge of the box before it's just steered away by Siddiqui. West Ham coming forward, but it's pinched by Siddiqui. Now Brobby has to hold it up again. They need to get numbers forward in the attack here. Brobby is one of those. Socek is coming from behind him. He sent the ball out wide and he's just overhit that pass, Brian Brobby. And that's going to go out for a throw-in on this near side past Mundle.
I've got to say, Sunderland have given the ball away so cheaply today, haven't they? And that's what's been quite costly for them, you know, when they've had a forward pass and not too many passes involved in the build-up. They've looked, you know, as though they couldn't hurt West Ham, but when they've tried to build up and play passes, they've given it away so cheaply.
West Ham have had 6 shots, 3 on target so far. 3 for Sunderland, only 1 on target. 57% possession for West Ham United. And the expected goals tally, 1.16 for West Ham, 0.15 for Sunderland so far. West Ham have enjoyed the better of the opportunities. There was one really good chance from Siddiqui, which was topped over by Alphonse Areola early in the game. And apart from that, the goalkeeper away to our left in West Ham colours has been underemployed.
Yeah, Nuno will be looking at the clock now and thinking, let me get them back in that dressing room with a 0 against us and I'll be absolutely delighted.
Well, West Ham lead by 2-0. Somerville and Bowen with the penalty. His 7th goal of the season. Here down the right-hand side, the ball collected by Mukiele. He's trying to drag his team up the pitch here. Somerville does brilliantly, getting back and blocking his run, and then plays it against Mukiele and out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. 5 minutes before the break, West Ham leading by 2-0. Sunderland might not be as phased as you might think, though, from this sort of position. They have recovered more points than any other promoted team since West Brom in 2010-2011 from losing positions. That never-say-die attitude under Regis Lebris has seen them fight back time and again from different and more difficult places.
I think that would be fair to say historically, but seeing what I'm seeing in front of my eyes at the moment, since probably about the 15th minute, I've not seen too much threat from Sunderland at present, have you?
No, not really, but things can change very quickly, as we've seen already in the game and already over the course of the season. Bowen being harassed by Mundle. We can go off to the Riverside because there's another goal for Talksport's Graham Courtney.
Another one for the Borough. Middlesbrough 3, Preston 0. As for the Preston defence, oh dear, they got in each other's way. The keeper was left completely stranded. Morgan Whittaker put the ball in the back of an empty net. Middlesbrough 3, Preston 0.
And Middlesbrough closing the gap to just 3 points on Coventry City, who play later in the weekend. At the top of the table, they're looking to get promoted back to the Premier League. They're in second position. They'll be interested in the Ipswich result as well later on today. 2-0 West Ham United lead here. You can follow all the action, by the way, straight after us with Adrian Durham, with all the goals as they go in the Premier League, the Scottish Premiership, the EFL and beyond. Coventry City not playing today, but Ipswich certainly are. They're away at Sheffield United later on in the day. We'll keep you in touch with that. Ball out on this near touchline, just trickles out and away for a throw-in. Wan-Bissaka will take it.
I think for these last 5 minutes of the game, it's important that certainly Fernandez and Souček do not vacate the centre of the park. That will be my advice to them at present.
Fernandez sending a long ball forward, looking for the run of Somerville, and it's perfectly passed for Somerville to run onto, and he's got to the byline, pulled it back. Castellanos inside the box, took a touch and then tried to hit it, needed to move it quicker, comes back to Matheus Fernandez, who unleashes a rocket into the near corner, and Matheus Fernandez gives West Ham a 3-goal lead, and in stunning style, it's a brilliant hit from Fernandez. 25 yards out, it came to him. He had one thing in his mind and he bulleted the ball beyond the goalkeeper, and Robin Roofs, who's been in spectacular form for Sunderland this season, couldn't get anywhere near it. West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. That's an absolute belter.
Well, I've got to say, it was a wonderful through ball that turned Sunderland's defence right round to Somerville, and on the build-up when it come to the edge of the box, my goodness, Fernandez has unloaded a hell of a shot. It cannoned off, and he's about, I would have said he's about 30 yards out, and he's cannoned a shot into this near post. Whoa, what a finish. We've just seen it again, and all West Ham's Christmases have come at once today.
Well, it's a right-footed shot towards the far corner. Roofs has got a cross there. He's got a hand towards the ball. It's a tiny fingertip he can get on it, but even when he gets to it, it's almost behind him by the time he's got there. Such was the velocity and the speed with which the ball was struck by Matías Fernández, and he puts West Ham in an absolutely brilliant position just before half-time. His third goal of the season, without doubt, his best for West Ham. It's a stunning strike, a brilliant hit, and West Ham are in a fantastic position.
Well, at the start of the season, if you'd have said this fixture in January, one team's going to be ninth and one team's going to be 3 from bottom, you would have thought that both teams were the other way round. That's not the case, but the way the game's panning out, it looks as though they're in false league positions on this showing.
Yeah, some of the Sunderland fans have had better days out in London, that's for sure. Granit Xhaka missing today. That turned the tide for me this morning, actually, when I was hearing that he had a little bit of a niggle. When I was asked about whether or not what the bet was going to be for the charity bet, it was West Ham as a result of the fact that Xhaka was not in the team. 3-0 they lead at half-time. Crescencio Somerville, Jared Bowen and Matías Fernández are on the score sheet.
Yeah, as I say, there's a lot to think about now for Sunderland at half-time. Is it going to be changes, formation change?
Well, they haven't shown enough, have they? Especially as an attacking force. Been a little bit insipid, actually, going forward, apart from the effort from Siddiqui. They do have a corner here, though, and that might unsettle West Ham. Lefay's delivery is a good one, away by Souček, and then collected by the retreating Siddiqui, and then the ball goes back out towards Robin Roos. Siddiqui's got to get on the halfway line. We've got 30 seconds played of the first of 3 added moments at the end of the game. It's up towards Ballard, it's over his head. It's going to go behind and out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. And you're listening to West Ham 3, Sunderland 0 on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they are here for it. By the way, I don't know if you... I mean, I know you got a bit of a drive today. Are you getting the train back after you finish here?
No, I'm parked here. I'm driving.
Good. Right, Talksport app. There's a new podcast on there. It's called How to Win the World Cup. Right, and it's got some people who've done it. Kleberson, Brazil legend.
Yes.
Emmanuel Petit, who won the World Cup in 1998. It's with Alex Brooker and with Matt Ford, 2 very funny guys and friends of the station. And Emmanuel Petit tells his brilliant story about Zinedine Zidane, about what he was like in the dressing room. He talks about the harmony of the French group in the build-up to 1998. And he talks about where his World Cup winners' medal is now and where it was for the previous 28 years. Let's just say it's in a better place now. How to win the World Cup on the Talksport app. And there's a little bit of fight and spice going on over away to our right-hand side. And there was a bit of a late challenge. Siddiqui and Ronaldo both involved. And Ronaldo just a little bit too, I suppose, eager on Jared Bowen. And he has been booked. And do you know what? In other circumstances, Stuart Pearce, that might be a second yellow card.
It might have been a first yellow card. I think it's a bit tough for a second yellow card. He's arrived a bit late. I don't think there was any malice in it. It was just a little bit slow. But then again, he has been most of the half. So
a minute before the end of the first 45, and West Ham have a free kick. Matías Fernández about to take it, and they lead by 3-0 West Ham. And he's already produced a stunning moment with a shot from 25 yards which went into the corner of the net. It wasn't right in the top corner, but it was hit with such speed that Roos couldn't get hold of it. Into the near post, poor delivery, away by Enzo Lefay. He heads it to the halfway line, and then Scarles sees it back to his goalkeeper, and West Ham will build from the back once more, leading and comfortable at the London Stadium. 2 words that don't usually get associated with West Ham. Well, it's not very often that the West Ham fans have been happy at half-time, but I'm not joking when I say there are people around me that are standing on their feet with their hands above their heads, clapping that first half performance from West Ham United, because Somerville, Bowen and Fernandez have put them in such a commanding position. Surely even West Ham United can't throw away a lead here. They have dropped 12 points from winning positions this season, and there is another 45 to come, but surely they're going to back up a victory at Tottenham with a victory here, because at half-time they lead by 3-0.
Sam, thank you very much. Yeah, it is a very, very different atmosphere to what West Ham fans will have experienced earlier in the season. What a difference a week makes in football, Stuart Pearce.
It certainly does. West Ham, for the first time this season, I would say, are playing a game with real confidence, and they'll be absolutely delighted with the way the game's gone. Quite incredible. And listen, they're playing with a bit of a swagger now at the end of this half. They've got the goals in front. They're backing up the victory they had at Spurs last week, and the fans are on side and very buoyant, and Nuno will be absolutely delighted, Resh.
It's been an incredible showing, actually. How much of that is down to the absence of Granit Xhaka, because they've been able to slice through that midfield, haven't they?
Well, the biggest problem they've got is they're giving the ball away so cheaply in the build-up. When West Ham get people behind the ball, they can't find a pass. They give it away. Unforced errors, I would say, must be somewhere between sort of, I would have said 5 and 10 at this moment. That's too much, and it's just eroded their confidence in the build-up. When they've gone from back to front quickly when West Ham have attacked, they've looked to semi-threat early in the game, but the longer the game's gone on, you're 3-0 down now, they'll be very disappointed, and West Ham have just got to make sure that they don't leave the back door open and offer any enthusiasm to Sunderland.
Yeah, well, as for one of the absolute leaders on the pitch for West Ham, we've talked, haven't we, pre-match about, every team needing those characters. Jared Bowen, what a player he has been over the seasons for West Ham. He is even in dark times, he is the one that still produces. And right now, after his assist for Crescencio Somerville and his penalty goal, he is now the player with the outright most goal involvements for West Ham in Premier League history. Most in goal involvements for West Ham in Premier League history. 63 goals, 40 assists. This guy is an absolute warrior.
He certainly is. As I say, he's been absolutely integral for West Ham since Moisey bought him through the door for about 13 million quid. Looks ludicrously cheap looking back now, and as I say, he's been brilliant, fantastic team player, and listen, and a goal and assist in this game, how vital is that going to be come the end of the season with the league position? And
Matis Fernandez's goal, just a word on that. Wow, bit wow.
Yeah, the whole build-up was good. A through ball, the runs in behind was good. It sort of semi-run aground when an effort from Castellanos has cannoned to the edge of the box, and then Fernandez has just come onto it and unloaded a shot that was just unstoppable from about 30 odd yards. Incredible goal.
Yeah, I have to say, I didn't see it coming from nowhere, wasn't it?
Nor did Royce.
I know he'll be ruining that one, won't he? But I don't think there was much he could have done about it. What a performance then in this first half by West Ham. 3-0 they lead Sunderland here at half-time. We've got a bit of transfer news for you, actually, because Talksport understands, and it's about West Ham, because Talksport understands that West Ham's move for Fulham winger Adama Traore has stalled. Now, Traore is out of contract in the summer. He had agreed the move to East London this month. However, the deal's hit a bit of a snag. If you want more information on that, go and check out Talksport.com, and we'll try to bring you more as we get it here across the airwaves as well. That is it for the Premier League at half-time. In the Championship, it's half-time at the Riverside. And there's a big scoreline there as well. Let's hear what's going on there for Talksport. Here's Graham Courtney.
Yeah, same scoreline as you. Middlesbrough 3, Preston North End 0. Opening goal after only 9 minutes. Counter-attack by the Borough. Crossfield ball by Matt Targett, on loan from Newcastle. Found Alan Brown, on loan from Sunderland. And he's fired it home through the keeper's legs for his third of the season. Second in 4 days as well for him. 27 on the clock. It's 2-0 to the Borough. Quick breakaway by Middlesbrough. Morgan Whittaker, well, he's turned his marker, squared it to Tommy Conway, and he's fired it in really, really well. Good goal there by the Scottish international, his 5th of the season. And then just before the break, well, it's a defensive clanger really by Preston. No pressure on the two central defenders. I don't know what they were doing. I think it was a simple case of yours, but neither one reacted. They seemed to get in each other's way. Loose ball rolled out to Morgan Whittaker, and he side-footed it home for his 11th of the season. The Borough at the moment scoring for fun. That's 12 in, 3.5 games. At the Riverside, Middlesbrough 3, Preston North End 0.
Thank you very much, Graham Courtney. Also in the Championship, it's Millwall 1, Charlton 0 in that derby. In League 1, Cardiff City 1, Stockport 1, Huddersfield 1, Bradford 0, and Plymouth 1, Luton 0. In League 2, Barnet are leading Oldham by 2-1. Notts County a 1-up at home to Crewe. And in the WSL, it is half-time at Stamford Bridge. And we can hear now from Angelina Kelly.
Yeah, it's Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. The Gunners had an excellent start to the game with Katie McCabe testing Hannah Hampton with a shot from the edge of the box in the opening minutes. However, the common theme with Arsenal this season continues in this game, with the side not being clinical enough. They've had some good chances, but the final ball has been nowhere near good enough. Chelsea, they have grown into the game with some good set pieces, with Alyssa Thompson looking very dangerous. Her incredible speed has really troubled Arsenal's defence on numerous occasions. Half-time, Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0.
Thank you very much, Angelina. Don't forget that Jeff Stilley and Ali McCoist are back on Talksport Breakfast from 6 a.m. on Monday. It's a big weekend of action and they'll be reacting to all of it, including, of course, Manchester United's visit to Arsenal tomorrow. Here at the London Stadium, though, it's West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. You've enjoyed that, haven't you, Sam?
Yeah, a bit of breaking news, though, in the last few minutes that Talksport understands that the move that we talked about in the build-up to the game about Adama Traore is off. I know you've already mentioned it, but that does mean that West Ham United are going to have to reassert their priorities and start looking elsewhere in the market. That move was key, I think. Nuno Espirito Santo certainly pushing for that.
Well, he wants hit players that he knows and he trusts at this stage of the season, doesn't he?
So just keep an eye on developments there, because I think I'd be interested to speak to him actually later on in the afternoon, because I think he was really keen to get that one over the line.
Yeah, exactly that, Sam. We do look forward to hearing that, actually, because hopefully you can get something out of Nuno with that. And, of course, in the meantime, do check out Talksport.com. If there are any other developments, we will bring it to you there as well. OK. Wow, West Ham doing really well here at the London Stadium. The fans have been crying out for a performance like that, and then they get 2 in a row. Wow, what a day for them so far. West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. Second half coming up next.
Game day exclusive on Talksport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games flexibly with Now, like Bournemouth versus Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports 18+, stream via internet, terms apply.
Incredible scenes here at the Village Hotel's Pub and Grill. Fans are taking their place in the fan zone with stadium-style seating, amazing views on huge screens, and we're underway. Lovely bit of dribbling there as she tackles the burger stack. Now they're getting down the wings. Sticky barbecue. Unbelievable. Oh, and he's hit the bar. And it's there. His favourite ice-cold beer. What a result. Catch every game live in the Pub and Grill at Village. Get in. Find out more at villagehotels.com.
He's having a blinder. He's clipped the post. He's looking formidable. Then... substitution. His game might be over, but yours isn't. With Betfair's Safe Sub, your bet simply rolls onto the player coming on. Playing a different league with Betfair.
Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Applies to singles, multiples and bet builder bets on qualified player outcome selections. Does not apply to odds boost. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Whoa, he's really opened up the Sun newspaper there, Jim. No question, Clive. Straight in the middle and right into the free pull-out goals. Goals, yes. The ultimate football coverage with the best expert writers. In-depth tactical analysis. Unrivaled coverage from every league and all the latest football action. Think you've said it all there, Clive. Sorry, Jim. Not to worry, I was reading my copy of Goals anyway. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday only in the Sun.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a tree, playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Hi, just leaving work now. Sorry it's a bit loud. Basically, so I was thinking we could get Mackey's tonight. Had a Big Mac on my mind all day, and delivery fee on the app is now from 99p. So, you in? Of course you are. Ha, love you. Bye.
Exclusively on the McDonald's app. 18+. Service fee and small order fee may apply. Participating restaurants. Serving times and T's and C's apply.
In 10 metres, take a left at the pile of washing.
Sorry, what?
At the Valley of Toy Dinosaurs, approach the kitchen with no room to cook.
Huh?
Turn right at the floordrobe.
A floordrobe?
You've reached Chaos. Recalculating.
No,
Suggest immediate course correction to IKEA for fitted wardrobes, children's storage and cupboard organisers.
Find your way back to calm. Discover smart storage at your local IKEA now. IKEA, They're wonderful every day.
It's another day at Screwfix, and Sir Mo Farah is still getting to grips with things.
So, Mo, with Sprint delivery, we get the order to them in as little as 20 minutes. Mo?
Mo? Done. He was on the 18th floor.
Nice work. But, you know we use delivery riders, right?
Oh, now you tell me.
Sprint it in as little as 20 minutes. Screwfix. No stopping you. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply.
Game day exclusive on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Ignition Football. Game day exclusive on Talksport.
This is Game Day exclusive on Talksport. I'm Reshmin Chowdhury. We're here at the London Stadium where it's currently West Ham 3, Sunderland 0 at half-time. And just a reminder for you, Talksport's new podcast, How to Win the World Cup, is available for you on YouTube, the Talksport app, and via your favourite podcast provider. Comedians Matt Ford and Alex Brooker speak to the French World Cup winner Emmanuel Petit about the winning mentality and what it really took to lift the trophy back in 1998. New episodes will be available every week between now and the Summers Tournament in America. We've got some cricket for you as well, though, because over on Talksport right now it's England's second ODI in Sri Lanka, and watching for Talksport is Sam Ellard.
England's target for victory is 220 after 8 overs. They're 39 for 1. Rayan Ahmed opening the batting, gone for 13. Dananjaya De Silva, the off-spinner, with a quicker ball that bowled Rayan Ahmed. Ducky and Root put on over 100 together in the first game. They're batting together now. Ducky's got 13, Root's got 12. England 39 for 1 from 8 overs.
Sam, thank you very much. Let's get the latest from Betfair now, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage.
Odds update on Talksport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sub from Betfair. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Alex Boys joins us from Betfair. Alex, it seems like football and momentum are two things that can work together.
Honestly, what a start that was for West Ham. And we said before the game, it felt like the optimism was back in the air. And this was a big moment with them kicking off early. And, well, Crescencio Somerville, he proved to us all, Reshmin, that size does not matter with a cracking header, which was also great for our charity bet, which we'll come on to in a moment. And with Bowen's penalty and that worldie from Fernandes, West Ham in absolute dreamland. And looking at their half-time odds on the Betfair Sportsbook, the home side now as short as 50 to 1 on. I mean, we thought that second goal was crucial, never mind the third, because we said before the game that West Ham's clean sheet record, or lack of, under Nuno, yet to keep one in the league since he got the job. They've dropped 15 points from winning positions as well, but without Granit Xhaka, Sunderland are struggling. So I'm not sure how many will fancy the 100 to 1 on offer for the Black Cats to turn this around. If you think they could rescue a point from 3-0 down, you can back the draw now at 25 to 1. Quickly on the half-time bet builders, it really is Somerville who's causing all sorts of problems. They look terrified when he gets the ball. You know, he scored a goal, he's drawn a card from Ballard, and Nordi Mukulele and Trahim are really struggling over there. You can back both of those players to be shown cards in a double with Safe Sub at around 30 to 1. Or for those who think Sunderland might get their chance to at least get back into this game, Ballard almost opened the scoring with a great header in that first half, and West Ham do have a woeful set-piece record. So you can back the big centre-half to have a shot on target and double that up on the bet builders with Enzo Lafay to score or assist, and that comes out at around 9 to 1 on the Betfair Sportsbook. And remember, we have Safe Sub available on selected leagues and markets, so if either of those players were to come off, your bet would stay in play right to the end.
Fantastic stuff, Alex. Thank you very much. That odds update is all thanks to Betfair. Returns accurate as of 10 minutes ago. For verification, see betfair.com. Over 18s only. Conditions apply. Go to gambleaware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sub from Betfair. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Okay, we're here at the London Stadium. They're forever blowing bubbles. What a mood here at the London Stadium. It hasn't felt like this for a while. Jarrod Bowen has led his team out. They're out early, in fact. Sunderland just popping out now. West Ham ready to kick off this second half very shortly, and it seems like they want to get going as quickly as possible. What a first half showing it's been. Don't forget that after the game here, following us at 2:30, Adrian Durham will take you around the grounds with all the goals as they go in the Premier League. He is at the Etihad today for Manchester City against Wolves. And get this, on TalkSport's Fiery Fridays podcast, he did actually say that Pep Guardiola should resign after City lost away to Bodo Glimt in midweek. Look forward to him telling Pep that to his face. I hope he does the post-match interview that day. He won't, but, you know. Anyway, that podcast is available wherever you get your podcast. Here, though, at the London Stadium, we're going to very shortly kick off this second half. West Ham very eager to go. They've got a 3-0 lead already over Sunderland, who are struggling here. Let's hand you over to our commentary team, Stuart Pearce, but first Sam Matterface.
Well, 3 changes for Sunderland at half-time, as I think you probably would expect, really. Trey Hume, Renildo and Mundle all coming off. Habib Diarra will go in at left-back, or right-back. Sirkin probably at left-back. Talby comes into the team as well. So it's a complete change to the way that Sunderland are played in the first half, with new personnel to try and affect the nature of the game. It'd be interesting to see actually if Habib Diarra actually plays a little bit further forward on the right hand side where Trey Hume was playing, and they stay with that back four, or they change it, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, Will, as I say, something had to change. You're coming at half time, you're 3-0 down, and the longer the half went on, the more West Ham were dominating it, so something had to change, either personnel or formation or whatever. Well, that remains to be seen how Sunderland react now.
Matis Fernandez just throws the ball away. Castellanos stops a free kick from being taken quickly, and Sunderland look to build. I'll go through the 2 11s for you in just a second, but those 3 changes for Sunderland do adapt things. Areola is the goalkeeper for West Ham. They're in claret shirts, white shorts, attacking the goal away to our left in the second half. Wan-Bissaka, Mavropanos, Todibo and Scarles are the back 4, Souček and Fernandez. Then Bowen, Pablo and Somerville behind Tati Castellanos in attack. Sunderland coming forward down the right hand side with Mukiele trying to get onto the front foot early in the second half. It's out towards the left. Chasing was Talby, didn't get there. Sirkin is then in a collision with Bowen, goes down, wants a free kick, isn't going to get one, it goes out for a throw-in. So Richie Lebris has thrown the dice here at the London Stadium. And will it come up trumps for him in the second 45, with West Ham leading by 2-0. They have Robin Roofs in goal, Mukiele at right back, Ballard Odorete and Sirkin now the left back. In midfield, Siddiqui, Lefay, Talby and Robbie and Maenda up front. The other change is Habib Diarra, who comes into the team, and he's almost sort of playing as a sort of left central midfield player here, Habib Diarra, just to stiffen that area of the field alongside Siddiqui. And what that might do is allow Enzo Lefay just to get a little bit higher up the pitch. We'll see what happens. Here he is on the far side, Lefay. Back infield it goes to Siddiqui, the deeper lying of the midfield players so far for Sunderland, who trail here by 3-0. 3 goals scored in the first half. Somerville, Bowen and Fernandez. Out wide it goes to Diarra. Diarra only just back from the AFCON. It's a little bit over-ambitious from Siddiqui, who travelled all the way back towards this near side with the ball and then ran it out of play. It's going to be a throw into West Ham.
Well, I don't think both officials actually knew what direction that was going. That happens sometimes. You've got to have a guesstimate at that stage.
Middlesbrough still leading 3-0 in the Championship. Millwall 1-0 up. Cardiff now 1-1 with Stockport. That's not underway in the second half. They had a stupid amount of injury time at the end of that game. I think 13-14 minutes actually. Huddersfield 1-0 up against Bradford, and Plymouth 1-0 up against Luton in League 1. In League 2, Barnet 2-1 up against Oldham. They've come from behind. Notts County lead by 1-0. You're up to date on Talksport, where we're at the London Stadium and we're at that rare thing, a very positive atmosphere because of a very good performance from West Ham in the first half. Although saying that, Stuart, the cross should have been dealt with by the Sunderland defence. The second one was a penalty that was sillily given away, and the third one was a worldie. So Sunderland have actually been the masters of their own downfall.
Yeah, in some respects they have, but I've got to say that the longer the game went on, the confidence you could see was coursing through West Ham players at that stage, and they certainly were well worth their lead.
Absolutely.
However they've got it.
Fernandez trying to take it away from Souček. A challenge on Fernandez. He goes down and he is slamming the floor. It was a little bit scrappy from West Ham trying to play out from the back. Jean-Claire Todibo inviting the groans of the supporters here by giving the ball away cheaply, and then there was a tackle from Habib Diarra which was late on Fernandez, and the free kick is given in favour of the home team.
Listen, West Ham are in a situation now that they've got a 3-0 advantage. What they don't need to do is offer any encouragement to Sunderland, giving the ball, dribbling out the back line, which a couple of their players have done already. Confidence is a good thing, but don't abuse it.
West Ham's biggest win over Sunderland came back in October 1968. Sir Geoff Hurst scored 6 in an 8-0 demolition at Upton Park. And Sunderland's sort of record against West Ham isn't particularly good, but their record in the capital has improved recently. They've taken points off Chelsea and Spurs this season already, but they don't look like they're going to take anything here. Ball cleared away by Wan-Bissaka. High into the air it goes. It drops for Alderete to clear. Mavropanos goes to meet it under pressure from Brobby, who just leans into him. He wanted a free kick, he's not going to get. Matthias Fernandes almost gives the ball away to Mayenda. Hadid Diarra comes across and puts pressure on to Debo. Somerville adds a little bit of balance to the force, and a little skip past the defender with a little flick gets West Ham back on the front foot again. 5 minutes gone, second half. West Ham United 3, Sunderland 0. Ball powered forward, up towards the big, tall, muscular figure of Dan Ballard, who heads it unchallenged, and Alderete will get Sunderland back on the front foot. Down the middle of the pitch it goes, away by Mavropanos, collected by Matthias Fernandes, who's just stretching slightly to reach that ball. Comes out to the near touchline. Somerville keeps it in. West Ham just about keeping hold of possession inside their own territory. Souček, Scarles, Somerville, better football now. Here is Pablo looking to get it forward, try to play a crossfield pass, bumped into Enzo Lefebvre, and now Fernandes will play that crossfield pass out towards Bowen, who is stationed on the far side, stuck to the touchline like glue. Infield it goes to Matthias Fernandes. Again he sweeps it to the left. Somerville now with encouragement to take on the defence. Sends it down towards Castellanos, who sort of stumbles and then eventually gives the ball away. Ballard manages to shoot it up towards the halfway line, and we'll go off to the Riverside for a red card and towards Graham Courtney.
Yeah, still Middlesbrough 3, Preston 0, but Preston down to 10 men. Only 3 minutes had gone in the second 45. Jordan Storey, the Preston right back, shown a straight red card. He and Tommy Conway, they were in a race. Storey dragged him down. Red card from Andy Madley. Middlesbrough 3, 10-man Preston 0.
Yeah, the injury time, by the way, at Cardiff that I mentioned was to be down to the fact that there was 12 minutes of treatment given to Yusuf Salek, who is their centre forward, Cardiff, and he had to be stretched off in the end, so we do hope that he is okay. Certainly things going okay for Middlesbrough in the Championship, and things going okay for West Ham United here.
Just looking at West Ham's build-up play there, and Fernandes has become more integral in a sort of more deep-lying role, enabling Souček to play in front of him, which I don't think
you
they
suggested.
were doing. Yeah, which I don't think they were actually doing, in the first half. Souček was getting too many touches of the ball, which isn't his forte, and Fernandes is getting on it, and he's got that raking pass that could unlock a defence.
Yeah, we saw that when he switched the play from left to right just moments ago. He went out to Bowen, he then got it back and switched it to the other side, which just changed the angle of the attack for West Ham United. But you're right, it was Souček who was playing a little bit deeper and getting on the ball more often in the first half. In the second half, we've seen more from Fernandes in that role. Alphonse Areola clears edge of the 6-yard box, upfield it goes, headed away by Alderete. Matthias Fernandes into Souček, then out wide towards Crescencio Somerville, who's duelling with Mukiele. The ball goes out of play away for a throw. He wants to get it moving quickly, Mukiele, and Brobby has made a run into the right wing position, didn't quite get there. Todibo was his shadow, and the ball goes back to Ballard at the heart of the Sunderland defence. 8 minutes played, second half. It's West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. Another goal, the Riverside for Talksport's Graham Courtney.
And it's the fourth for the Borough. Middlesbrough 4, Preston 0. Tommy Conway with his second on the afternoon. But you know what, once again, I'd love to know where the Preston defence are. I think they're still on the bus. Shocking defending. Tommy Conway's danced his way through. Finished really, really coolly. Middlesbrough 4, Preston 0.
Certainly been a good day for Middlesbrough. Sunderland come forward, and then as Souček, after they'd given the ball away down in the right corner of the field, Mayenda couldn't keep hold of it. Souček is then fouled by Brobby as he's trying to bring the ball out of defence, and it's cleared away by West Ham United. We've got a breakthrough in the game in the WSL. Which way's it gone, Angelina Kelly?
It's Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1, with a goal for Beth Mead. Russo plays the ball into the box to Mead on the right-hand side, who strikes it into the far corner with some real power. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1.
Arsenal really needed to win that game, otherwise they were kissing hopes of a WSL title challenge. Goodbye the European champions in front at Stamford Bridge in front of 30,000 this afternoon. And back here, West Ham United leading by 3-0 against Sunderland, who are coming forward now down the left with Enzo Lefebvre. Back infield it goes, and across towards the near touchline for Ballard. Ballard helping it out to Mayenda. He's a yard inside the near touchline, and Scholes does his job brilliantly. And I tell you what, it's difficult circumstances to come into a team as a young player, as Ollie Scholes has done this season, 20 years of age, and try and integrate yourself into the first team. But he's done a very good job, I think.
Yeah, it is. As I say, he's played well today, the young man. He's looked very mature in his passing. And a couple of youngsters, young Totsy's been in the team as well, just gone out on the bench for this one at the moment.
Throw in from the near side. Mukiele's delivery is headed away by Castellanos. Back in by Mukiele, away by the stooping Mavropanos. And it's cleared upfield, but Somerville has got the beating for pace of Mukiele, who just about got there in front of him, according to the referee. I'm not sure that Nuno Espirito Santo was entirely sure about that. Brobby, whose hold-up play is elite. Enzo Lefebvre trying to work it out to the far side, and actually Brobby was a little bit disappointed that the ball was taken off his toes by Enzo Lefebvre, who's now chasing back with Bowen, who's attempting to escape for West Ham down the right hand side. He's just run out of room, it goes out of play, it's away for a throw over on the far side.
Bowen either looking for a free kick or looking for the throw in for West Ham, but certainly not been given that.
What did you think about that Brobby sort of hold-up play? He did really well, didn't he, to sort of keep the ball superbly, and then Enzo Lefebvre tried to just sort of nick it off his toes and play it out towards the left-hand side. He looks really a real handful, doesn't he, at the top end of the pitch?
Yeah, I think, I mean, his teammates, some of the hold-up plays been sent as good as you'll see, full stop, but his teammates have got to help out. When he secures the ball, which is brilliant, they've got to help out with their passing and build-up play after that.
Oh, a mistake by Alderete, and now Castellanos is coming forward, and Pablo tries to keep it alive in the right wing position, but across goes Siddiqui. He nabs it, travels with the ball, goes down under pressure, and it's going to be a free kick. Let's go off to Craven Cottage. We've got team news from Talksport's Alex Crook.
No Sasa Lukic for Fulham due to a hamstring issue, so Alex Iwobi starts. Kevin is preferred to Sessegnon as the Cottagers make 2 changes. It's 3 alterations for Brighton. Buscagli, Baliba and Ayari come in. Out go Hinshelwood, Veltman and Gruder. It's Fulham against Brighton.
Not surprised to be Carlos Baliba back in the starting lineup for Brighton on Talksport on Monday night. He came on in the second half and was a big part of the reason that Brighton fought back for a point in that game. Souček forward, up towards the halfway line. Remember, we're round the grounds with Adrian Durham at 2:30. Sunderland win it. Habib Diarra travels forward and then strikes from the edge of the box. It was a little bit hopeful, really, but it hit Jean-Claire Todibo, bounced out of play and goes out for a corner kick on this near side. Listening to West Ham United 3, Sunderland 0 on Talksport with Sky Sports. Don't forget, now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Bournemouth versus Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports.
I think West Ham, it's the first time this season they've really played without having real pressure on them since they've got the goals advantage, and they've got to try and maintain that if they possibly can.
Lefebvre's corner kick in towards the centre of the 6-yard box, headed away but comes back out for Talby, who strikes it but miskicks it. Habib Diarra then scoops it forward. He was caught in 2 minds and messed it up, gave it straight to Castellanos, who then relieves pressure by sending Wan-Bissaka up to the halfway line. He holds on to it well, Wan-Bissaka, and I thought actually in the game against Tottenham he made a massive difference coming back from the AFCON, and I think he's made a massive difference again today.
Yeah, I thought he'd gone down a blind alley there, dribbling the ball, but managed to get a free kick, get himself out of trouble.
He certainly did. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who returned from the AFCON, very good in one-on-one situations. He seems like a bit of a bargain signing, actually, at 15 million quid. Here is Somerville, travelling down the left for West Ham, who lead by 3-0. Out on the near touchline, he sends a cross into the middle. It's headed away by Ballard. It's out for a corner. And West Ham United just putting a bit more pressure on Sunderland's defence for the first time in a little while.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what it is with fullbacks this day and age. I think they're so worried about inverted wingers cutting inside that they over-exaggerate the the body formation and get done on the outside too readily, and that was another point in case.
Yeah, I'll ask you about that in just a second, but Somerville is preparing for this corner kick away to our left-hand side in front of the Bobby Moore stand, right-footed into the near post, another unsatisfactory delivery, but it comes back out to the edge of the box, and this time Matthias Fernandes can't catch it the way he managed the third goal, and it goes wide of goal away to our left-hand side. Is that an example of fullbacks over-exaggerating the movement because they want to show the winger down the outside, or is it because, as you mentioned, they're just so concerned about what they do coming in?
I think primarily it's concerned about not letting them inside, but the trouble is you've got to get both elements right. You can't just over-exaggerate and not be ready for the ball down the line that catches you out, and that's exactly what's happened, and that's what cost them a goal in the first half.
And let's go off to Burnley for team news from Matt Jones.
Burnley named the same 11 that drew with Liverpool last week as they look to make it 4 without a defeat. Still no Fleming and Worrell due to injury for them. 3 changes for Spurs, though, from their win over Dortmund. Bergval's injured, Gray and Udogie dropped to the bench. Van der Ven, Gallagher and Basuma start. It's Burnley v Spurs from 3.
Seems like a big game for Thomas Frank and Tottenham Hotspur. Big game for Manchester City as well. Wolverhampton Wanderers have been putting points on the board recently. What's the team news? Mickey Gray.
It's 5 changes for City after that 3-1 Humble by Bodo Glimt in midweek. No Erling Haaland or Phil Foden in the starting 11. Aït-Nouri, Elen and Lewis also miss out. Gay comes straight in to make his debut after his January move from Crystal Palace with Nunes, Silva, Semenyo and Marmouche. It's just the one change for Rob Edwards' side. John Arias comes into the starting 11 with Arakadore moving to the bench. Man City against Wolves.
That is fascinating team news from the Etihad Stadium. No Haaland in the starting lineup, and if they want to keep a title challenge alive, then they need to win that game against relegation threatened, almost certain relegation candidates Wolverhampton Wanderers. There's been a goal in the WSL. Angelina Kelly.
It's Chelsea 0, Arsenal 2, and it's a goal for Mariana Caldente. She receives the ball just inside the box from Beth Mead. She dances towards the penalty spot and sends the ball into the near corner of the net. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 2.
Back here is West Ham 3, Sunderland 0, live on Talksport. 62 gone. Wan-Bissaka back to Fernandes, into Souček. West Ham looking to try and build up inside their own half. And this is the kind of game which West Ham hope is just an incident-free second half. There's been a lot of matches where nothing has happened with West Ham United, and it's been rather frustrating for the crowd. I get the feeling today they'll be quite happy if nothing happens in this second half, Stuart Pearce.
They will be absolutely delighted. As I say, they've closed the gap as things stand, started to condense things at the bottom of the table, and aside from the points that it's give you, it's the confidence within the group that Nuno needs to build.
Well, they did their goal difference a world of good if they could get a couple more goals, because their goal difference was absolutely guff in comparison to everybody else above them recently. But actually, 3 goals on the board certainly helps that today. They're looking for the first clean sheet under Nuno Espirito Santo, and as Stuart says, the gap will be just 2 points if it remains like this, with Nottingham Forest playing tomorrow when we take you round the grounds on Game Day Live. This is Talksport, Saturday afternoon. Live coverage of West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. Middlesbrough 4-0 up in the Championship. Millwall 1-0 up against Charlton. Arsenal leading 2-0 in the WSL. Cardiff 1, Stockport 1, Huddersfield 1, Bradford 0, Plymouth 1, Sunderland 0. Those games in League 1 today. Barnet 2, Oldham 1 and Notts County 1, Crewe Alexandra 0. Here is Castellanos sending the ball wide to the left. Pablo takes over now. They want the return through the middle, but they go further wide to Somerville instead. He travels down towards the side of the penalty area that West Ham are attacking. Sets it back for Castellanos, whose right-footed shot, well, he curled it quite nicely, but didn't have the speed or power really to trouble Robin Root, and he just moves to his left and takes the ball out of the sky.
Yeah, comfortable save for the goalkeeper. Good build-up again by West Ham, done this left-hand side, and just opened the goal up with a little curler there, but didn't have enough pace in it.
There's still not enough pace about this Sunderland team, is there? They're just not moving the ball with any real tempo or speed or rhythm.
No, it's probably fair to say this might be one of the most disappointing performances of the season for them, and so I personally was expecting so much more from their performance.
Good challenge that by Matthias Fernandes in the heart of midfield. manages to only get the ball to halfway, where Ballard retrieves it, and it goes all the way back towards the left-hand side. I mean, we're at 64th minute, and it is worth pointing out that 70% of Sunderland's goals this season have come after the hour mark. So West Ham should still concentrate. We'll have to keep tabs on this man, Brian Brobby, who's trying to win the ball, but he's in an offside position. He's just a little bit of a frustrated figure today, actually, because he's done a lot of good work, held the ball up quite well, and he hasn't had necessarily the support that maybe he requires. And some of those delicious balls that Granit Xhaka can play, those line-breaking passes, have not been available to Sunderland because of his injury.
Yeah, without a doubt. And as I say, his body language, as you rightly say, probably sums up where the direction Sunderland are going at the moment, you know, very downbeat. And I think West Ham have just summoned, I'm not sure who that is back.
Callum Wilson.
Callum Wilson back. Looks as though he might be coming on.
Ball headed out from the back by Sunderland. One in midfield by Habib Diarra. Out to Mukiele. Now Mayenda. Round the corner. Infield to Siddiqui. Up towards Habib Diarra again. He looks up. Tries to feed the ball infield. Instead he continues to travel. Plays it into a good position for Mukiele to get onto. Brobby is waiting in the centre. Here's Brian Brobby with the header, and it's a goal, and they're back in the game. Well, we told you two things. Sunderland always score after the 60-minute mark, and West Ham always concede, and the worst defence in the league has failed to keep a clean sheet once again. And West Ham, who are in such a commanding position in this game, have given away a goal to Sunderland, who might just use that as a bit of a spur on for a late second half comeback. 3-1.
Well, it was Mavropanos who was a million miles behind the rest of his colleagues in that back line, played on the onside. He lost his man, Brobby, in the middle of the goal in the meantime. And I've got to say, it's a really good goal from Sunderland's point of view, but from West Ham's, from an easy afternoon with nothing to speak about, all of a sudden this could be quite interesting.
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it, really, because like you said, there should never be a situation from 3-0 that they find themselves struggling, but it's West Ham United. They concede so many goals, and Sunderland just have this propensity for a fight back. And if they were to get the next goal in the game now, Stuart, well, you just wonder how this place would feel. You just wonder how this West Ham unit would react to that.
Well, we'll see in the next few minutes without a doubt, but certainly that goal sort of rocked this stadium. I don't think any of us saw it coming. Not a build-up of pressure in any way, shape or form, but if you sit back and you think to yourself, the game's won. The Premier League don't work that way.
Yeah. They've won more positions from losing positions. They've won more points from losing positions than anybody else in the Premier League, and West Ham have dropped 12 already this season. Surely they can't drop them here. Here is Talby, one of 3 half-time substitutions from Regis Lebris. Into Lefay, dropping deeper and playing it onto Habib Diarra, who's driving run actually, and brilliant ball into Mukiele. Helped that cross into the box, which Brobby converted with a brilliant, powerful header. Nothing that Alphonse Areola could do about that. Wilson about to come on. The cross into the box by Alderete should travel all the way through to Alphonse Areola, who drops on the ball and does. And now Wilson about to come on for the final few minutes of the game. Well, I say final few minutes, 22 minutes. That's quite enough for Sunderland to cause West Ham a little bit of nervousness and create tension in this stadium.
Yeah, it certainly is. Just looking at this fragmented back line of West Ham at the moment, they're going to have to get into sync. Players are dropping off, some are pushing up, and it certainly played its part in conceding that last goal.
Just a little bit frightened, I think, of Brobby. And Habib Diarra is picking up an interesting position. He's not a number 10, but he's playing sort of inside right 10, isn't he, which is causing an issue.
What's going on here in the back line with Todibo and Mavropanos? They're not doing their work now when they should.
Here is Habib Diarra running in that inside right channel. Plays it out towards Mayenda. Mayenda approaches the edge of the penalty area. Sunderland on the attack here looking for a second goal. Diarra's cross blocked. Goes out for a throw-in. And Todibo asks for more from the fans. And they might just need those fans going into the final 22 minutes of the game. 2 changes. And Diouf is going to come on at left back, because that is an area of the pitch, as we just mentioned, where they're slightly struggling now, West Ham United. Long throw coming in from Mukiele. West Ham have to be alert to the danger. It's a long throw in towards the near post. It's flicked on by Lefay into a dangerous area. Socek manages to get something on it and manages to steer it out of the box. Mukiele's got it back again, down the right side. Somerville gets his body in between ball and man and just shepherds it out, and it goes out for a throw into West Ham in the left full-back position. Here are the two changes then. Callum Wilson and El Hadj Malik Diouf coming on, and off comes Ollie Scarles and Pablo. What do we make of those changes, Stuart Pearce?
Well, I wondered whether they would turn this back four into a back five, actually, for West Ham, but it doesn't look as though that's going to be the case. Scholes has played very well today, I think, but he's decided to take the young man off. Beautiful slot back in, like for like. And I wonder whether Castellanos will drop back behind Wilson. Do you think that will be the case?
Yeah, I would have thought so. Somerville just getting some instructions from Wilson. Maybe Wilson might just drop off Castellanos a little bit, actually. So Castellanos goes as the 9. Wilson just goes a little bit behind him. It'll almost be like 2 up front, though, won't it? 3-1 the score to West Ham. 20 minutes to go. El Hadj Malik Diouf tosses the ball down the line. Ballard gets there. Castellanos sticks his foot out, and then that's a poor challenge by Castellanos. He's going to get a yellow card. He just swiped away Ballard's legs, and actually he's given away a free kick in Enzo Lefay territory. He's able to sort of cultivate from this sort of range.
Yeah, he's gone to ground, and it's a silly thing to do. His feet are probably nowhere near contact. But the trouble is, you go to ground and you've got your feet up, you've got to be very, very mindful.
Lefay to take the free kick in from the touchline by about a yard. And all eyes on Brobby, who is just lurking inside the D here. The cross needs to be good. Enzo Lefay's delivery is tossed up to the penalty spot. It's flicked on by Siddiqui. It doesn't reach Brobby and goes through to Alphonse Areola. West Ham United being urged on by their supporters here. Wan-Bissaka immediately sends the ball forward, looking for Wilson, who brings it down under pressure. Ballard gets it back to his goalkeeper. West Ham fans who have come to the party after the concession of that goal have been a little bit more vociferous, and they were asking for a back pass there. West Ham 3, Sunderland 1. The latest odds are available at Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get West Ham to win at 33-1 on. Sunderland are 100-1 to come back and win it. The draw is 16-1. That's all thanks to Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sub from Betfair 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Yeah, I've got to say, I'm not sure my substitution would have been Wilson on. I've got to say, I think they might have been better off maybe bringing a midfield player on and going 4-5-1 potentially and filling that midfield area up.
Magassa is on the bench, isn't he?
Potts is on the bench. There's options there.
Here is Ballard as Sunderland starts to take the game more and more to West Ham the longer the match goes on. Up it goes to Brobby, heads it back into midfield. Wilson is challenged from behind by Alderete. It's going to be a free kick to West Ham. And that's one thing he does do, though. He will get his body in between ball and man and win free kicks and just slow the pace of the game down. Over in Colombo, England chasing 220 to win the second one-day international against Sri Lanka. England 83-1 after 16 overs. And coverage continues on the Talksport YouTube channel and on Talksport 2. If you just download the app, you can access the station. Going to be a change here, and in the next few minutes we're going to see the arrival of Wilson Isidore for Eliza Mayenda. Wilson Isidore for Eliza Mayenda. French striker, 19 appearances, 4 goals this season. Here is Lefay out towards the left, looking for the run of Talby. Couldn't hold on to it, just miscontrolled it over in the far corner. Goes out of play, and it's away for a throw into West Ham.
Yeah, Freddie Potts just being made ready now. I'll be interested to see what they do in this situation, whether they supplement the midfield or it's a like for like.
Well, you said they need to stiffen it, didn't you?
I personally would. I would put 5 across midfield, and if you're going to do that, it looks like Castellanos might make way.
Well, the first change is Mayenda off. And on comes Isidore. And that's the Sunderland change. Wilson Isidore, who actually included his goal tally with a third against West Ham United earlier in the season. Castellanos is off, as you mentioned, Stuart. And on comes Freddie Potts, academy graduate with 16 appearances this season, his 7th from the bench. He's trying to establish himself in the West Ham team this season, and he's certainly done more of that under Nuno Espirito Santo than he did under previous regimes, but he's a very well thought of player. He was at Portsmouth last season.
Yeah, I covered I done the Portsmouth Player of the Year awards last year.
Did you?
I worked with Freddie when he was here, obviously, and it was really pleasing. Very well thought of down at Portsmouth. Done extremely well there last year, and it's great to see him break in. I asked him what was his plans, and he said to come back to West Ham this summer and get in the first team. So well done.
Well, he's done it so far. Mukiele has tossed another long ball into the box. It's headed away by West Ham. It goes all the way back to Robin Roos, and he then sends it to Habib Diarra, encouraged forward by the Sunderland defence. West Ham leading by 3-1. It's chipped up towards the edge of the box. Out comes the goalkeeper Alphonse Areola, and he smothers it, and he is able to get it clear for West Ham, who lead here but are looking a little bit less comfortable than they were 15 minutes ago. It was all a bit of a stroll in the Olympic Park, wasn't it? And on after those 3 changes from Sunderland, eventually they've got themselves on the score sheet. And West Ham just need now just to slow the game down and kill any momentum that Sunderland have started to build up.
Yeah, they've got Souček and Potts sat at the base of that midfield now. They won't be going anywhere, or shouldn't be, for the next 15-20 minutes or so.
A bit of a foul by Wilson on Ballard. Free kick given to Sunderland. This is 15 yards inside, or more actually, 20 yards inside the West Ham United half. Now Castellanos has finished his walk around the perimeter of the pitch and gets a high five from some of the coaching staff here at West Ham. And Sunderland continue to build, trailing by 3-1. Ballard over halfway. We've seen dramatic games involving Sunderland, like the one against Bournemouth earlier in the season. They nicked it late on. Can they do something similar here? Can they get back into the game? That's the key thing. They've got on the scoreboard, but they haven't yet managed to test Alphonse Areola since scoring that goal from Brian Bobby. Here is Ballard, just down the right side of the centre circle. Up he goes into an advanced position, onto Mukiele, who's crossed into the area, is aimed towards Isidore, who sort of lost his footing at a vital moment, and Todibo was a little bit fortunate. The ball is cleared. Diarra getting on it once again down this right side. Starting to motor forward. A little bit more narrow West Ham when they look at the back four now. A little bit more in sync with Diarra, Mavropanos and Todibo. Wan-Bissaka at the far side. Diop has just come out of his slot slightly to take on Enzo Lefebvre, and he's lost the sight of Mukiele, who's gone down the right. He looks to take on Freddie Potts, whose intervention just holds him up slightly. Diarra takes over, then Siddiqui, then Taubi, then to the left and Alderete. A couple of good passes here from Sunderland as they work their way into a crossing position. Over on the left, Taubi has it once again, putting pressure on the West Ham back line. Souček goes across, stands firm. Brilliant challenge from him, and he releases Bowen, and that releases a little bit of pressure. Only momentarily though, because Bowen can't escape, Stuart Pearce.
No, Sunderland are building up pressure. They've got quite a few players in the front line. What they need to do is work it wide and then put it in the box. Ask questions of this West Ham back line.
Well, like we said in the first half, West Ham have now conceded 13 headed goals in the Premier League. That should give you an indication as to the best route to goal.
Yeah, it certainly should. And when you consider the fragmented back line that cost them the goal a little bit, Mavropanos dropping off, playing players onside and then losing his man in the box was... it's changed the format and the tempo of this game slightly.
Middlesbrough winning in the Championship, Millwall winning as well by 1-0 in the Women's Super League. Arsenal 2-0 up away from home at Chelsea. In League One, Cardiff 1-1 with Stockport. Huddersfield 1-0 up against Bradford. Plymouth 1-0 up against Luton. 9 minutes to go there. In League 2, Barnet Oldham is now 2-2. Millwall have doubled their advantage. They've got a second goal at home to Charlton. 2-0 up in the Championship. And Notts County lead by a 0-0 against Crewe. You're up to date on Talksport, as you will be throughout the afternoon with Adrian Durham as we take you round the grounds. 2:30. Champions League final day on Wednesday night, live on Talksport, the best place to consume it. For the Thursday night, Europa League action as well. And big night for Nottingham Forest. I'm not sure they're going to make it, but they'll try. Here is El Hadj Malik Diouf sending the ball forward for West Ham. Somerville skips past the challenge of Siddiqui, and he commits a foul, which gives away a free kick in the left wing position, and he gets a yellow card.
Yeah, good play by Somerville. I've got to say, he's picked the ball up out wide, and he only had one thing on his mind, to drive at his fullback, dipped inside him, and then it was just a numbers game.
He has gone down though, hasn't he, which is a bit of a concern.
Yeah, I think he took a body check, and then someone's landed on him, so I think he'll be okay.
He's face down on the turf away to our left. Mukiele has lost a boot or a shin pad, and he's now just gingerly getting back to his feet. And Somerville still on all fours, now just getting back to his feet and now wandering in over towards the free kick, where he might try and get a short one. Matias Fernandez looks as if he's going to take it. Sunderland have endured 8 years of Championship football before last season's promotion via the playoffs. They beat Sheffield United in a dramatic Wembley finale with goals from Mayenda and a late winner from Tom Watson, who's now at Brighton. It's a dramatic turnaround. We're not expecting a dramatic turnaround here, with West Ham leading by 3-1 and 9 minutes to play. Ball into the near post by West Ham. Matthias Fernandez's delivery is well defended by Diarra. Not a great header by Lafay. It comes back to Mavropanos. And I think he got a little bit excited there, Mavropanos, because he found himself in a shooting position on the edge of the penalty area. And let's just say, it's not his strong suit.
Yeah, good clearance.
I'll leave that one to you.
Yeah, indeed. He should have left it to someone else as well, I think. It's fair to say. But West Ham have just slowed that momentum that Sunderland have built up. But still maintain, West Ham have got to make sure that their goal isn't breached.
Just don't give anything away now. We saw it happen. Remember the Nottingham Forest game not so long ago? You know, they got themselves back in the game, Forest, and then all of a sudden, right at the end of the game, they give away a penalty, West Ham.
Yeah, as I say, this place will get very, very nervous. They're sort of half happy at the moment, but in the back of their minds they'll be fearing the worst, the West Ham fans, I'm sure.
All of those drop points from earlier in the campaign will come flooding back if Sunderland can get on the score sheet again. Enzo Lafay into Talby. He's midway inside the West Ham half of the field. He feeds it out to Dennis Serkin. Serkin moves up towards the edge of the area, pokes it down to Talby, needs a decent cross, gets a decent cross, comes back to the right side of the box, and Isidore thrashes at it with a acrobatic volley, didn't catch it well, and it spoons over the top. But that was a chance, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, it was a good chance. Once again, good creative play on the left-hand side, and it's gone over Diouf. He's lost his man totally, misjudged the header, and probably should have done a lot better there with this sort of hitch kick.
I think Mukiele has hurt himself a little bit in that action that we spoke about earlier on. He's come off. Maybe he hasn't, actually, because he has come over towards the near touchline and he is rowing with Regis Lebris. I thought he was unhappy because he felt an injury, but actually I think he's happy about the fact he's been taken off and he's thrown a right strop down in front of us.
Yeah, he's wobbling his hands all over the place here. Let's make it about you, shall we?
Well, certainly it's been all about West Ham really today, because they've scored the goals that have seemingly put a bit of distance between them and Burnley and closed the gap to Nottingham Forest to just 2 points. A couple of the coaching staff now going over to Mukiele just to try and be diplomatic and just smooth over the exchange that he had with Regis Lebris. West Ham haven't won here in the Premier League since November the 1st.
And there lies the problem for this season.
Did I say November the 1st? I meant
yes.
November the 8th, sorry. 7 days further on from that, but still far too long. Here is Mavropanos as the ball goes into the penalty area. It's smashed away by Diarra. Up towards the midpoint of the Sunderland half. It's chested down by Wilson. Lovely little swivel. Gets beyond the defender. Alderete commits a challenge. The referee says no penalty. West Ham certainly wanted one. And now they look to go on the counter-attack. Although it's just slowed down a bit too much there by Diarra, because there was an opportunity with an overload to get the ball forward on this near side. Bit of a mistake from Sunderland not to use the turnover of possession. Lefay into Luca 9, who's just come off the bench to replace the stroppy Mukiele. Infield it goes to Siddiqui. Now on to Alderete. He floats the ball into the penalty area. Away by El Hadj Malik Diouf. Down it comes for Ballard. Ballard charges forward. Out to Luca 9, who's crossing to the box. Hits the crossbar. Comes back off and, well, it almost inadvertently went beyond Areola, but he just about reacted in time. It wasn't the best of crosses into the box by Luca 9, but he sent that into the near post almost inadvertently, and it almost escaped through the clutches of the goalkeeper and into the top corner, Stuart Pearce.
Well, it was either one of the best shots you've ever seen or the worst crosses you've ever seen. I know where my money was, and Areola's managed to sort of get himself across to his left-hand side and sort of parry it onto the post and clutch it second time round. So,
well, what a chance that was. If that had snuck him, there would have been all hell breaking loose around here. It was going right in the top corner, and Areola had to be alert. He pushed it against the inside of the post. It came back then off the crossbar as it went up, and then he managed to smother it at the second time of asking. And West Ham survive a bit of a scare there. Here is a ball at the other end from Matthias Fernandes, which is too close to the goalkeeper. And Robin Roof wants to get it clear and upfield quickly. And Talby has made a good advance down the right-hand side. And Diouf has gone across and watched it all the way and headed the ball out for a throw-in on this near side. Granit Xhaka, is he involved in an altercation with some West Ham fans behind the dugout?
Yeah, there's some words being had, certainly behind the dugout with certain individuals.
Yeah, well, looks as if there's some stewards that are getting involved in there to try and break things up, but there's a real confrontation going on. Mukiele, I think, is involved in it as well. Granit Xhaka is having a word with some of the supporters behind the dugout, and it's all a little bit fiery as far as tempers are concerned down by that Sunderland bench. Xhaka is sitting behind the bench, and the seat's just behind the bench because obviously he's injured today. Here down the right-hand side, the ball is at the feet of Habib Diarra. Diouf trying to protect the ball as Diarra goes across to try and win it, but it's a free kick down by the corner flag. Yeah, I think the West Ham Stadium manager now is speaking to the assistants of Regis Lebris just to try and sort of organise what's happening down there, but they're still getting some sort of abuse, I think, from behind the dugouts, which is what the accusation is from the players in that technical area, that West Ham seat, Sunderland seating area. There is sort of like a step up towards where the first row of fans are, and they are making a few sort of motions towards the Sunderland bench, and now the referee has come across to stop the game whilst they sort this out, because clearly Sunderland aren't happy.
No, they're not, but I'm not so sure there's any life in stopping the game, personally, to deal with a situation like this.
Well, we don't know what's been said, do we?
No, we don't, but, you know, how does that interfere with a game, I ask the question, you know? Stewards should be coming, quelling the problem.
Well, what I don't understand is why the West Ham stewards, or the stewards, haven't gone in there to form a barrier between the two. That hasn't happened yet. They've sort of been left to their own devices. We now are back underway. The fourth official has been playing mediator. The West Ham Stadium manager is over there as well. Meanwhile, Wan-Bissaka is escaping to the right-hand side, and Robin Roos has come out of his goal to clear upfield. Thomas Souček has got it now. Picked up by Wan-Bissaka far side. 3-1, 89 minutes on the clock. Now it's with Jean-Claire Todibo inside his own half, guiding it back to the heart of the defence of Mavropanos. Mavropanos back to the goalkeeper Alphonse Areola, who kicks clear downfield, chested by Luca 9, whose effort almost caused West Ham a bit of panic and worry late on in the game. Wilson does well, comes back, plays it against Isidore, and it goes out for a throw-in on the halfway line for West Ham United, who are quite happy to take as much time as possible and run the clock down. 4 minutes of added time.
Yeah, I'm going to state the obvious now. This is a very, very big win for West Ham. You know, it's condensed the bottom of the table. It looks like a big win anyway at this stage. And what it's done as well, it's give this fan base a little bit of confidence that they've got a chance of staying in the division.
You're not going to believe this. They've actually got the stewards over into that area to protect the Sunderland dugout now. It's only taken about 5 minutes. Here's Matías Fernández trying to play the ball down the middle, looking for Bowen. It's steered away by Ballon. It's wide of goal and it goes out for a corner kick as we go into 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the 90.
Yeah, Ballard a little bit concerned that he might give a penalty away, making the challenge going back to his own goal, but his tentative effort, he got too much on it, I think, and ended up nearly putting it back past the goalie into the far corner.
West Ham leading by 3-1 against Sunderland on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it, book now at enterprise.co.uk. Max Kilman about to come on for West Ham for the final few seconds of the game. They're taking a corner on the far side. Bowen has gone over, picked the ball up from the claret carpet in front of the Bobby Moore stand away to our left. There's a huge claret carpet that was laid here to try and make it a bit more West Ham. Big distance between the first row of seats and the pitch. It goes in towards the near post, flicked on by Potts, comes through towards Mavropanos, and then sent back towards the edge of the area, crashes the underside of the bar, and then smuggled over the line. Surely the West Ham players celebrate. The referee gives the goal, and West Ham lead by 4-0, or do they?
I think it's a free kick.
The referee now stopping the game and saying they're going to wait to have a look on the VAR here. There is conversations going on between, I think it was Souček who got the final touch, because it was pushed onto the bar by Robin Roos, who was caught out initially by the looping header by Wilson. It dropped off the back of the head of Souček, well, actually off his shoulder, and taken beyond the line by Roos. There's a big confrontation inside the 6-yard box here, and the referee Thomas Bramwell's got some sorting out to do. He initially gave the goal because his watch went off, then he looked over at the linesman. The linesman then said something to him. He put his finger to his ears, he turned his attention to that assistant over on the far side, and now, after a discussion with Andrew Dallison, he has disallowed the goal.
I'm not
offside.
I'm not overly sure why we stopped there, because if the ball's crossed the line, the referee's technology should alert him to that.
Yes.
So there was 2 occasions where it might have crossed the line, but technology should deal with that, not VAR.
I think possibly the referee didn't realise that when the initial header went in from Wilson, Souček was in an offside position, and that's what the assistant has alerted him to.
Thank you for clarity.
Somerville comes off, Kilman comes on. And Somerville, who got the party started here really, with the goal inside the first 15 minutes, which put West Ham on the road to a first home victory since November the 8th. Ball allowed to bounce by Alderete. He's heading the ball back to his goalkeeper. It wasn't quite strong enough, but not weak enough either to invite Wilson to challenge for it. And West Ham get it up the pitch. Matías Fernández chasing over on the far side. It's come to Sirkin, who's moved down the left-hand channel. Gets it back to Talby. Talby trying to turn it centrally. We're in the 4th of 4 minutes that have been allotted to be added on at the end of the game. Talby wants a free kick, not going to get one. He ran across the body line of Souček. Picked up by Bowen, who drags West Ham up the field. West Ham United, who've spent the whole season full of hardship, full of disappointment. Maybe, just maybe, they're coming alive in the nick of time. They're going to close the gap to Nottingham Forest to just 2 points. And the bubbles are being sung by the West Ham fans. These scenes have not been prevalent enough at the London Stadium since Nuno Espirito Santo took over, but they are about to enjoy an explosion of joy. Ball back to Robin Roos. 94 minutes have been played. Ballard has it. Can he get it clear? It's upfield towards Habib Diarra. Back to Dennis Sirkin. Sirkin all the way to his goalkeeper. Surely the referee's going to blow the whistle now. The West Ham fans are imploring him to do so. And now he puts the whistle to his lips. And that is the signal for pure, unadulterated relief. West Ham United may not have climbed out of the bottom three, but they've given themselves a real chance, a fighting chance of staying in the Premier League with back-to-back victories over Tottenham Hotspur away and Sunderland at home. Crescencio Somerville's header started things off after 15 minutes. Jared Bowen with a penalty made things comfortable. Surely, after Matthias Fernandez's goal, the 3 points were secure. But Brian Brobby's second half header certainly just put a few nerves into the mind of the West Ham supporters. But even then, despite the crossbar being rattled and Alphonse Areola after coming to the rescue on a couple of occasions, Sunderland couldn't further their scoreboard attention, and as a result West Ham get all 3 points. It's a moment that the West Ham fans can enjoy. For Sunderland, it's a rare day off, but it might just be the afternoon that the Hammers start to believe that they can escape the threat of relegation. West Ham United beat Sunderland by 3-1.
Sam, thank you. I tell you what, toxicity has ruled this place for weeks and weeks, and some would argue for years and years consistently, but wow, what a win that was for West Ham today, even if they had to fight right until the bitter end to hold on to it. It's almost like London buses, isn't it? You wait a whole long cold winter for a win and then two come along at once, but this one will surely mean so much because it is at home and it's been a long time coming as well. West Ham haven't won at home since November. They'd lost 8 previously in their last 11 here at home at the London Stadium. And the fans were jittery, the fans were angry, the fans wanted more, and today they absolutely got it. The players still out on the pitch, doing a lap of the stadium to say thank you to the fans, who many of whom have stuck around, who are applauding the team, who are really revelling in this moment, because you have to say, Stuart Pearce, they absolutely were good for that victory.
Yeah, they were. They deserved to win today to West Ham. Sunderland started quite well in the first 10 minutes, but from that moment on, West Ham looked the better side for the vast majority of it. Sunderland give the ball away too cheaply, too often. West Ham grew in confidence. And to be fair, the only disappointment in the whole day for West Ham really was conceding that goal. A valuable 3 points and a happy Olympic Stadium.
Very happy Olympic Stadium. On the goal they conceded, they've kept one clean sheet in 23 games in the Premier League so far this season. I mean, I don't want to harp on the negative because it really has been a very positive performance for them. How on earth is Nuno going to solve that problem?
I think it was a state of mind in many ways. You know, the team switched off a little bit. They thought they were on easy street, the back line. The back line started to get a bit fragmented. 2 centre halves too deep, one behind the other, full-backs further up the pitch, and that played into the goal. Once you look at it again, Mavropanos was guilty of dropping off too deep and playing players onside, and when the ball came in the box, Broby was his man. He should have been the one dealing with him. He wasn't, and it hit the back of the net. It could have got a lot more nervous than it actually did, but I think West Ham will learn from that. But between now and the end of the season, West Ham have got to make sure that they grind out some nils against, which will get them results.
2 consecutive wins in the Premier League, 3 consecutive wins overall if you include the FA Cup win a couple of weeks ago against QPR. Do you feel that there is a belief now that, I mean, just looking at the table, it all just looks so much more fluid, doesn't it? They're only 2 points off Nottingham Forest now. There must be a feeling amongst this crowd, amongst yourselves as well, you know, someone who watches West Ham, who knows how, you know this team, you know how good they can be. Is there a belief that they can actually go on a run now?
Well, what I would do is turn round and say, take 6 points off their tally and have a look what the league table would look like a week ago, if you like, if they didn't get any points. They'll certainly believe. The squad of players isn't bad here. It's quite decent. They've still got some work to do, but what they've done is put a bit of pressure on Forest, Leeds, and that's all they can do at this moment in time. Yeah, and just a quick one on Sunderland. I mean, look, they're not going down there. They're 9th at 33 points, on record to get, to secure that 40-point sort of barrier very, very soon, actually, if they can get the wins at home. On the road, though, they do have problems. They're now winless in 7. How much did they miss Granit Xhaka today? Well, the fact that we pointed out that they give the ball away by playing passes from that midfield area and into that midfield area, that was their biggest downside of their play today. I was disappointed in that and disappointed in their performance, but Xhaka plays a massive part in regard to that. He is... he's been arguably one of the signings of the season, and he was valuably missed today. But it still made his voice heard, didn't he? Arguing with the fans. I'm not Never too far away, is it? I'm not sure it was totally down to him. He would have played his part, I'm sure, but I think there's one or two others involved as well down there. Indeed. OK, let's pick our man of the match then, shall we, with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The Here For It hero on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Stuart, who are you going for?
Well, there's a couple in the mix for me. I thought Somerville played particularly well, but the one continually who caught my eye through the game was Fernandes in the heart of the midfield. His range of passing was very good. He got the goal of the game without a doubt, and he was the one who caught my eye. Yeah, OK, that was our Here For It hero man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.